Are you washed?
Are you washed
In the blood.
in the blood?
In the blood. Are you washed to the left? I'm doing it right now.
Washed in the
All right,
lamb.
welcome to Theme and Variation. We're a podcast movie podcast movie. We're a movie
Are you
podcast.
having a
We talk
stroke?
about. Hey, that's insensitive.
Not really.
We're a movie podcast. We talk about the themes of various films. And we also have variation episodes, which are kind of more freeform. We talk about whatever we want. I'm Cole.
I'm Christian.
I'm Michael.
Now we got two guests.
And we're not going to forget to introduce them this time like we did last time.
Hey, we don't. Yeah, we did forget to do that.
We did.
No, we actually introduced it twice
Well, no,
and
we-
you cut it out because apparently we were
true.
talking too much about smelling salts.
Okay,
Yeah, so
yeah.
really, Cole will just not.
Okay, wow.
Not forget
This
to
is how this
edit
happens.
again.
Please introduce yourselves.
I
guests.
am Kori
This
Schoenig,
is how it
I'm
happens.
Josh Schoenig.
Welcome.
and we are the Schoenigs.
We are the Schoenigs.
Yeah, Kori is one of my oldest friends. She used to
One of your
bully
first
me in middle
bullies.
school. Yes,
But look what that has flourished into,
exactly.
Michael.
Now I'm married to your husband, and it's
I'm
just
so glad my wife
That's-
bullied you in middle school.
That's not true.
Well, what are we talking about today?
First Reformed.
2017 box office smash hit. If you must be living under a rock if you haven't seen this movie.
I mean,
Was there a
You mean
second
what?
part to
well,
that?
I was gonna say like, because I see you're being sarcastic, but it's like
Yeah,
I'm
that was
trying
the
to-
joke I was
Trying to
making.
break free from the sarcasm.
You're not going to.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Other plugs. Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Theme and Variation
Hey,
Podcast.
Hey, we're on Spotify now. Please check us out there.
Spotify.
Listen to us on Spotify, please.
saying this at the beginning because who knows who's going to still be here
Michael.
by the end of this podcast.
Hopefully many people. Well,
Just two.
we're talking about First Reformed, Paul Schrader's 2017 box office smash hit. Again,
Paul Rudd.
no, not him.
You said Paul Schrader.
Yeah,
That's the guy's name.
that
directed
Really?
it.
That's
yes,
his name?
that's the name. Why are you saying it like
I
that?
don't know.
Okay.
I'm in a mood, man.
I think we're all in a mood.
Okay, well, let's start with like general thing. What did you guys kind of get out of this as far as thematic stuff goes? I think we all were kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope and despair. I
Yes.
think were kind of the two big themes.
I just want to address, like, first, why
First
did
Reformed.
you...
I got to that one
You
first.
did.
Wow,
Reformed.
that was quick. Why you guys chose this film
for you?
Corey Page and I
Well,
don't
okay, here on Theme and Variation, we don't just have guests, we have experts. And you two both work at a church, so we thought, what a better pair of guests to have on this church-based film than the
church.
Schoenigs.
That is just, like, insanity.
Because this must have been really accurate to what working at a church is
Oh,
like for you.
100%.
Denied.
100%. This film is my daily life at the
It's
church.
like Wednesdays, am I
Yeah,
right?
Wednesday, time to wrap myself in barbed wire and almost drink antifreeze.
Yeah. Want to explode
TGIF,
everyone.
man.
Got a
Want to
cabinet full of
explode
that
everyone at
stuff.
the Vineyard 100th anniversary. That's
Just name drop.
So the themes: hope and despair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Despair and hope.
Yeah, I think it's a lot about the balancing act in between those. I don't
Can't
think
have one without the other.
Yeah, I don't think it's saying necessarily. You can't have. I think they say that pretty much verbatim. Is
Do
you
they
cannot,
really?
Yeah.
He does, yeah. In the conversation he has with the first conversation
With
with
Michael.
Michael, that's kind
What?
of he sums it up right.
Yeah.
With
there.
who?
With Michael, not me. You,
The guy in the movie.
the guy who blows his head off with a shotgun.
He does do that. Yeah.
Again,
Spoilers.
normal life
Yeah.
and work at a church.
Everyday occurrences.
Denied.
No,
Confirmed.
not at all.
I'm getting mixed messages here.
So yes, he was saying that you can't have one without the other. Hope and despair.
Oh yeah, that's what we
That's
were
where
saying.
you were. I'll just be here to keep this on track.
No, you got to be here for
No,
more than
be
that.
here for more than
well,
that.
we'll just see what
You're
happens.
here to
Corey,
have
you're
things
throwing
on
out-
track and to bully Michael.
Yeah.
You're really good at that, it seems.
You know,
That's
yeah,
in the past.
It is, and hopefully it stays there.
And
We'll just
despairly
we'll see.
stays there.
We'll see.
It's up to you, Michael.
Whoa.
Okay.
That sounded
Well-
like a threat.
Do you guys want to start getting into the plot so we can
Yeah.
see how the
Yes.
plot
Please.
reinforces these themes?
Get into that thing.
Yes.
All right. I think one of the first things we see is he starts taking that journal that the main
Yes.
character, Toller, Reverend Toller, he's keeping a journal for the next year of his life, and he wants it
Next
to be
12 months.
Yeah, he wants it to be a really honest reflection of how his thought process works. And I think he says something like, with yourself, it's important to be brutally honest, something to that extent.
Yeah.
Doesn't he say at the beginning too? He's gonna burn.
Yeah, at the end of
Yeah,
it,
he's
At the
gonna
end of the
burn.
year, he's gonna burn.
He's gonna
the-
shred
It's
it
an
and then
experiment.
burn.
Interesting, yeah. A lot of people like to keep their journals to look at them later.
Wreck
Like,
this
he
journal.
just seems to want, he wants to just burn it up by the time it's done.
That's the epilogue after the credits scene. Is he patents the wreck this journal thing?
Yes.
And makes millions on that.
Wait, I'm sorry, is that an actual thing?
It's
Yeah.
it's like a. I don't know how to explain it.
It's a
It's
journal.
like a journal that's like.
Break me.
It's a journal that's just like, oh, punish me.
Oh, so it's kind of like a relationship where you're like, yeah, please ruin me, and then but except it's a.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
That went
Um,
somewhere.
Well, what I'm talking about is the ideal relationship.
Okay.
Where,
Yeah.
where you
What's
know,
up with that plot, Cole?
Okay, yeah. He's talking about how it's important to show yourself no mercy when writing about yourself. Pretty much. And I think we get...
That's the Cobra Kai way, man.
This is
think
like
it is.
I think in most
No mercy.
episodes Michael brings up Cobra Kai.
I need-
No,
Stop.
it's only the last one. You brought it up first.
What is wrong with your voice?
I just got something back there,
Well,
man.
fix that.
You didn't even inhale a large amount of flour
I
this time.
think
Get it under control.
I think I drank some declogger, toilet declogger.
Some Drano.
I think that's Drano, because that's what he was drinking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what-
We'll get there. Don't
some,
worry.
Some Drano.
But I think it kind of
Spoilers,
sets up the organ's not working, and somebody tells him, "Why don't you call Abundant Life?" And he's kind
I
of.
thought you meant because his organs weren't working because he's like real sick. I wonder if
No,
that was a
someone did
metaphor
make
for
that
that.
joke in the movie.
Did someone really?
Yeah. Remember? Chased him around, grabbed her by the organ.
No.
Oh,
okay.
that's
my
a
gosh,
different.
yeah. That's a
different
oh,
joke.
man.
It's not even what he was saying.
The organ. It's the
He
same
means
joke.
it's
No,
just
it's
a
not.
different
It's
format.
not.
It wasn't in
Christian
the
was saying his
movie.
organs were failing
it
because
wasn't
he
in
has
the movie.
cancer.
You don't get that
the
joke.
tourists
Well,
that came through.
We don't
there.
actually know if he has cancer. They don't reveal that
Oh my
technically.
God, we're pretty
there's
sure.
something. There's something.
We're pretty
wrong
sure
with
he's
it.
got cancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably got cancer, but we're not sure.
He's hesitant to call Abundant Life. There's some tension there. It sets up
Some kingdom
some
tension. Would you say?
I don't know. You're the expert. Some kingdom tension.
Yeah.
Between the churches?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think it's pride.
Have you guys ever felt
Like
church tension?
I mean, it's not a competition.
But
So
like,
no,
have you?
I think it exists, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
supposed to exist.
no, it's not.
Yeah,
Supposed
what do you
to
mean by
exist.
church tension? Wait, I'm confused.
I think a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of churches that I think do feel like they have to compete against each other, but really the church should just be like the church.
Yeah.
It's all,
Yeah.
it all has the same, every church has the same goal in her.
Church is not a business. That's why it doesn't get taxed.
It's true.
Yeah.
I love America.
But wasn't in the movie First Redeemed,
First Reformed.
First Reformed. That's it's the title of the movie.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. Because which church are you thinking about? Because there's Abundant Life, and then there's First Reformed.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay, First Reformed.
Wasn't that one like a plant of the other church? Like, didn't he go?
It was a really
Didn't they
old
send him?
church, and they saved it from getting bulldozed. Pretty
Okay,
much.
that's-
Through
So they're
the
they're
other
like the
church-
financiers.
Yes,
church
yes.
bought it. Basically.
Oh, okay.
They saved it
Yeah.
from becoming a parking lot.
And they appointed him.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. So he's kind
Whether
of
he
an
was,
employee.
I don't know if he was there first or if they appointed him after.
He
Did anybody catch that? I did
I
not.
he
think-
might have been in the line of when Abundant Life purchased the church. He might have been the first that they appointed, but you could see. Remember, there were other.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
church
other
history
churches
goes way
250
back to the
years old.
like
1800s.
Yeah.
since
yeah.
before that. So
Yeah,
he
I
probably
think-
was the first.
I think they
of
did
that
mention
big
at some
church.
point.
He's
that,
actually
what is
300
the other,
years old.
The pastor of the bigger church. What is his name?
Oh shoot, they say it like 3 times.
Yeah, it's
Man,
not
I
a
wanna
lot.
say
I think
Craig.
he
I was
does
gonna pull
mention
up
that
the
he was
cast
the
list
one
here.
that appointed our main character, and I can't.
Toller.
Toller.
yeah, they
Toller.
kinda
Reverend
implied
Toller.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he implied that he was the one that like gave him the job.
It was like a real
He was-
weird, like, hey, remember that thing I
He was
did
Pastor
for you?
yeah,
Joel.
there was. Oh yeah, Pastor
Pastor
Joel.
Joel.
Pastor Joel. Like I feel like there was some tension
Wonder if
of
that was
like
on purpose.
I've given you this position, even though, and it's. I feel like he kind of holds it over him most of the film.
Joel.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next, I think we get right into, like, Toller's giving a sermon,
Yeah.
and then after Mary, another character in the movie, comes and talks to him about talking to her husband, Michael. So Michael makes a cameo in this movie, Michael Davison.
No, I do not.
We can wish.
According to this friend group, I make a cameo in every single movie and TV show. It's just two main ones.
Which are what?
He's a
Might as well
reoccurring
just get
character
this
on
out of the way
It's
right
Always
now.
Sunny in
definitely
Philadelphia.
more than just two. But
Let's just
anyways,
get this out of the way right now.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Michael is both Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Schmidt,
From New Girl.
old habits.
Die
New
Hard.
Girl.
New girl.
Anyways,
The implication.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But something Mary brings up is because Toller's like, why does he want to talk to me? Like, Abundant Life has a bunch of, like, really good therapists there.
You got all these
Counseling, yeah.
resources.
Yeah, they
She
have a bunch of
says
resources.
He thinks it's a company.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't want to go there. He thinks it's more of a company than a church. And Toller's still kind of not too sure, and Mary tells him that Michael wants her to get an abortion because she's pregnant right now.
And he's like, but it's not for like, oh, I don't want
Yeah,
to raise this kid. It's like he thinks it's wrong to bring a kid into the
Yeah,
world.
and this is the first kind of hit of that really absolute crushing despair that I think is overall
Yeah.
in the movie, is when he thinks it's
actually goes
hopeless to
talk
bring a baby
Michael.
in the world. Yeah. And then we get right into that conversation with him, too.
Yeah.
This is, I think, one of the most interesting things in a movie. I like it when just two characters can just sit in a room and talk, and it's
Much like we're doing now. If we were in a movie.
yeah, but probably not as well written.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Can we also just talk about like shot choice? In
Oh,
this
yeah,
movie
absolutely.
Is like awesome.
It's powerful. I don't know.
It's-
Every shot is just striking.
It's I
and
don't know
imposing.
why. Like it's
It's
such
just
a
a
simple
very-
setting.
It's
But
shot very.
It's the 4:3 aspect ratio,
Confrontational.
and Schrader likes to use a lot of the low angles, especially on the architecture and stuff. Like that
Yep.
first shot rolling up to the church. It's that really imposing low angle where it just
Yep.
is looming over you almost.
Yeah, it does take up the whole screen. It's very striking. So, no, I thought the movie was made very well. Like kind of all those aspects of it.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it. It's like there's not really a whole lot of what would you call that, motion shots, or it's just kind of
The
still?
camera's really set.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
N-
tripod
no
shots
hand
the
holds
Was it
entire
like
time.
twice in the movie? There's
That-
like a panning shot.
I have to look
or-
back into this and go over it.
Or it's not even panning. It's like rotational.
There's like
Camera
three
movement.
that I remember. There's the opening
Yeah,
shot,
the opening does
Oh,
move
yeah,
forward,
yeah.
right?
the
That's right.
bicycle scene,
Yeah, and then the
And
very
and the very
end,
very
whatever,
last shot.
rotates
It's
like
interesting because
crazy.
it's like in those scenes, especially when the characters are having conversations, everything just still you're just so forced to focus on what they're saying, and it's very intense almost.
Yeah.
And there's not really a
Yeah.
whole lot going
Else to look
on
at,
other than like a
yeah.
conversation. So you just kind of have to really focus
Yeah.
on what they're saying.
But I like this because it just you put two people in a room that are both really smart and really convicted about what they're talking about, and
They're
like
kind of having this war of ideas.
Yeah,
while
well,
being
like,
very.
Toller was
polite.
saying, every argument, every word was a mortal struggle.
It was
exhilarating.
Oh yeah. You kind of get the narration of him writing in his journal over.
Yeah,
it,
about
and-
the conversation too.
And Corey Page, maybe you can speak to this as well. I thought this scene of him like counseling Michael was actually like a good representation of pastoring somebody. Like it was, as much as the character struggles later, like you can tell he actually is a good pastor and is like really does care for people even in his own despair. Like I really liked that scene because he actually like it felt like he genuinely cared about Michael, cared about the issues he was talking about, and also like offered really good practical advice
Yeah.
for his life.
I do think that scene really paints a picture of, I think, a problem a lot of pastors find themselves in, though, where they are always the ones giving the help, but he's kind of also, physically dying.
Even a pastor needs a pastor.
Yeah, what they say in the movie, even a pastor needs a pastor.
Christian saw me loading that one up.
No.
Yeah.
But it sounded like he was almost just speaking to this guy out of just things he's just always known,
Yeah.
not out of.
Yeah, he just levels with him like a normal
Yeah.
person, kind of.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of his of Toller's own
Yeah.
history and kind of.
But
his
first,
life.
kind of Michael gives his motivations for not feeling like bringing another child into this
Yeah,
world.
we should probably address that.
Yeah,
Climate, and
a lot of the
kind
climate
most
change
of
stuff.
the-
He's an activist.
He thinks the world is being killed, and
I think that's the other big
Is-
theme in this movie is climate change.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think it's used as a vessel for a lot of the despair theme too.
Yeah.
that's
because-
what I think. Because I never really felt like they were pushing climate change on you as a message itself. Of, like,
No, I think it was just a
needs-
vehicle.
I
It
will
is,
argue
Yeah.
the dream sequence. I will just argue
That's so funny
that-
because that's so funny because that to me that's the most unnecessary scene in the whole movie.
Oh, it is.
I
It's
honestly
the-
just
it's
thought
the
that was
most
like
heavy-handed
the
scene.
most-
I'll play devil
Okay,
advocate,
okay.
and I will.
Okay,
defend
we'll-
that scene.
we'll get to that
there
scene.
though.
We'll
Not
get
there
to
yet.
that scene.
No, because I can see I can see how that
we get there.
because when I watched that scene,
We get there when we get there.
We're not there yet,
man.
Michael.
Are
Hey,
we not there
chill.
yet?
I'm Joseph Chill. All right.
Okay, yeah. Michael is an advocate for ending climate change and stuff, but he thinks it's too late at this point. You know, he says by what year?
2050.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
everything will be done, dead world, and he doesn't want to look his kid in the eye and say, "I knew about this," and still
And then
nothing happened.
The Reverend comes back. He's like, "Well, Michael, I'm actually pro climate
No,
change."
he doesn't do that. He does not do that.
Here are some foundations and
I actually-
organizations you can donate to
Yeah.
right now.
No.
To get more oil onto ducks.
Yeah, he just gets out of his car and just leaves it on and walks out.
But here's the line I think that stuck out to me most in this, and I think it's the first hint of that balancing act between both hope
Is
and
it
despair.
the-
You've got to hold two contradictory ideas in your head at the same time.
Wisdom is holding two.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it.
Life is despair and hope. You can't have one without the
Well,
other. Basically,
I think kind of what it's getting at is the despair gets you to thinking, and the hope gets you to acting on something. Just one. I think another good theme of this too is pure despair just leads to apathy, and we see that as Toller gets worse both in his physical and mental health. He stops taking care of himself, and he lets his mental state slide down hard. But if you have hope, you can still see the world for what it is, and if you have I guess if you have both at the same time, you can see the world for what it is and take action to change it too.
right. What would the other end then? Because if total despair leads to apathy, what is kind of this naive or
Like too much
superficial
hope. Is
Yeah,
that
what's-
things will kind of
or
work
what's-
itself out without you having?
Because
to
It's a different
it's like
form of
weird.
apathy,
It's like
'cause we
weird
see that in-
saying there's like too much hope, but it's more like a different type of hope. It's
Yeah.
like that superficial kind of.
We see that, I think, represented with Abundant Life.
Oh, for sure, the big church. Yep.
They ask Toller how he's doing, but they don't really care or do anything to help him.
Yeah, and
except for that.
we'll
one lady.
we'll get to
Well-
the later things too, where that's definitely more present because
Except for that one really nice
Pastor
lady.
Joel Jeffers. That's literally his name.
Yeah.
He kind of represents that as well. So Michael wants to abort their child, right? I don't know if we ever said that.
I said it many times.
Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. He wants to abort their child, and then we get another thing. Michael says too. He's like, bringing, a child into this world. What does he say? He's like, there's nothing worse than taking a child out of it.
Yeah, well,
or
that's when we
something
get more
that's,
into Toller's story,
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Is, I think, what does he say exactly?
Well, his son.
He says, the despair you feel about bringing a child into this world cannot match that of taking one out.
That's right.
And
That's right.
He
Even
gets
if-
into
yeah.
what he did, like it's a family tradition for the men in his family to enlist in the military, and he kind of pushed his son into doing that and didn't come back.
His wife left him
Yeah.
because she basically blamed him for his death. And
Yep.
then,
No marriage can withstand the
and
loss
then-
of a child.
Yeah, he left the military and then he ended up at the church, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the lore.
That is the lore.
The toll lore.
Oh, that was a good one. I'll shake
Yeah,
your
that
hand. for that.
And then we get into the history tour too. He's given those tourists like the tour around and gift shop time.
The gift
You know.
shop. Yeah.
We got these cool hats.
Caps.
I feel like this scene, like, it wasn't in my head. Like, it was a very, when I first watched it, it was like a kind of a nothing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, like, I think this played a huge part in his despair.
I think so too. I think what this is for him, he wants to be doing a lot of important stuff.
Yeah,
but
he wants
feels,
to be doing real
yeah.
ministry, and
Yeah.
he's a tour guide.
This is where we get the
Well,
origin
and they get that
joke.
line later too. I mean, it's like, what do they call that over there? Oh, the gift shop.
Yeah,
That is like,
It
oh,
completely just
Yeah.
like
you see the
strips
soul.
him of-
and also
Leave
the
that man's
Joel
body.
like basically craps on his ministry. He's like,
Yeah.
you pastor a church that no one goes to, and it's a tourist trap.
Well, he even says that, like,
Yeah.
he basically directly says that.
He does.
Yeah.
That's what Josh just said.
Yeah. So,
Well, it's like, well, I mean, like, I think it's certain later points in the season. But yeah, no, he does.
I think it was like, you could kind of like, I feel like it was when the guy made the organ joke, you could see him just die a little bit inside.
I haven't heard that
Where
one before.
he,
All
like-
right, let's continue with the tour.
Where like he like
We're not at the
can't
organ
say-
joke yet. The organ's not fixed yet. Organ's still broke.
No, not
The-
that
the
organ.
tourist
the
guy,
tour,
like-
the organ,
where he's
where he's
like,
like
you
grabbed
hear the
her by
one-
the organs.
He grabs
grabbed
him by the.
organs.
You don't. I can. Oh, do
I
you
think that's
do you-
later.
Do you get that joke?
It's in
Yeah,
that scene.
Yeah, can you
I know
explain that
it's-
joke
because
to me?
It was the tourist,
Chased him
the
around
dad
and
of
grabbed
the
him by
tourist
the
group.
organ.
Okay,
His-
perhaps you're right.
Yeah.
You
I'll get dragged
do
later.
I-
This is something
his
we will start
balls?
doing. Is if we have an.
Sorry, me and Christian kind of had a little
Yeah,
side
I
argument there.
I got jolted back into that conversation.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Where we at?
I don't know. Anything anybody else wants to say about that little tour? You guys do
No,
at
he
the
just
beginning?
seems like
got
he's just-
anything,
He's just doing his
Kori?
part of the job and doesn't necessarily like it.
I don't know. I think at the beginning he kind of takes pride in the church's history too.
Yeah,
He
for sure.
he likes telling people about.
Well, I would say
this?
there's a difference between this of the tour here and then the one they give later to all the kids about how it was a part
Well,
of the
that one
Underground
definitely
Railroad.
hits on the theme, and we'll get there when we get
Yeah.
there. Hold on. We can't get.
Hey guys, let's talk about the movie. Christian, don't talk about the movie.
Cool, let's get into the plot. Let me just throw events from way later in the movie in the beginning of the movie.
And then go back to the beginning
Okay, no.
while talking about the end.
Michael, you can't- I swear to God, you've made this joke every episode.
It gets
I
funnier
don't
every
think
time.
so.
I think
Apparently.
no, because I've made it at least once.
Okay,
Well, now we have new
Well-
people to share it with.
we're done with that. We get the introduction to Esther's character too. She's kind of conducting the high school choir, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And Toller sits down.
Do you think
and-
there's any significance in the names like Esther and Mary, or is it just like these people like church and their parents probably liked church, so that's why they got these
Joel,
churchy
I mean, they're
names?
like, they seem to all be church biblical names, actually.
Yeah,
There
I was kind of
probably
wondering if there's
is, like,
any
maybe.
significance in that.
I'm not sure. I don't think.
I think
as-
Mary probably, if anyone has significance, it's
Yeah.
probably her.
That's
'Cause
one that
she's
stood out
this
to
like
me the most.
symbol of hope. And
Mary, being pregnant with Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think
Was
I was
She
going to bring
was
this up
pregnant
later
in the
too,
movie as
but
well.
I think it hits on this
And she
point
was
too.
pregnant
I
in the
think
movie.
that
Interesting.
her pregnancy kind of represents a form of hope too.
Yeah.
Just this
Yeah.
potential for something really pure
Yeah.
and good.
Did you say potential?
To be a gun.
Gosh, man, we are
Back to the Iron Giant.
literally every
Boom,
single
just
time.
kidding. Fuck you. This is an Iron Giant episode.
Hey, I was here for that one.
Boom.
Yeah, you were.
Big reveal.
We're a sting operation. We have words that trigger memories in our brains. Those words are like potential, gun.
Dean.
Okay. All right. Enough Iron Giant stuff. There's a whole hour and a half about that one if you want to listen to that.
There's a hidden 2.5 hour one.
Yeah. Okay. That will never be released.
Iron
Because it's
Giant
terrible.
uncut.
Yeah, for theme and variation lore, we had to re-record that whole Iron Giant episode because the first time we recorded it, it ended up being 2.5 hours long.
We had a lot
and
to say.
incomprehensible. We did not have a lot to say.
Christian especially did not have a lot to say.
No, I almost
Okay.
didn't talk at all.
Okay. Esther's introduction.
Oh, yes.
High school choir.
She's like, hey, you're looking hot.
No, it doesn't say
No,
that.
she does ask him
Basically.
if he wants to go get lunch with
Yeah.
her. They were
Yeah,
just
she's-
catching up. And she's like, "You want to get lunch?" She's like,
I can sit
I
down
got
with you for a
something-
minute.
I
at
want
this
to point out
time,
one
but-
line though too.
Yeah,
Is
go
like I think she tells him like, remember that when your whole life is still ahead of you, pretty much too.
yeah.
We'll
I
try
think-
telling them that.
Yeah. I think that kind of speaks to the themes too
Of like the earth
of
and
like
stuff, or
kind of
what?
the naive hope of being young and the apathy of being older too.
Why do I feel both?
You're an
Go
old
see a
soul in a young man's
therapist.
body, Christian.
No. Anyway. So they go get lunch.
Yeah.
This is where we first get Joel Jeffers, Pastor Joel Jeffers, right? Because that's why he came to the church first, because he's having a meeting with him. Right?
Yeah, he wants to
right,
talk
yeah.
about the 250th reconsecration.
That's where we get like he's just asking how
What does
the
that word
organ, if the
mean?
organ's fixed, and he's
like-
like, no, we're waiting on a piece. consecration. Yeah.
It's like a fancy term.
Oh, I thought you meant okay.
Okay, well, we're back. Welcome back.
Oh.
Are we going?
I'll edit.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Heyo.
So Christian, reconsecration, which is a definition. Yeah, you got to edit that out. That's nonsense.
All right.
Stop laughing like that.
Michael, stop. Okay, Christian, to answer your question, which is knowledge I definitely had all the way up till now.
He didn't. He had no idea what the fuck it was.
Okay. Reconsecration is like the action of making or declaring something, typically a church, sacred. And it's like redoing that.
Declare
What?
that it's a church.
That is sacred.
You declare something
Rededicate.
typically a
It's
church.
like Kori had good words.
Yeah, say those
Rededicating
words.
it to the Lord.
Yeah, to the Lord
Can
Almighty.
a building sin?
These are the themes we need to get into. Can a building commit sin?
Can a gun
Monster House.
feel?
Can a,
What if a church didn't want to be a church?
Yeah, what if it wanted to be a whorehouse?
oh my God. Okay.
So where are we in the plot?
No.
Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we? We're
Get out of my home.
we're at Toller talking to Pastor Joel about they're making plans for the reconsecration.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was like, what does
He's
that
like,
mean?
hey man, how you doing? And
Yeah.
he's like, hey, I'm okay. And he's
He's
like,
like,
cool,
I didn't
we'll
care
figure it
anyway.
out later.
He's like, no. He's like, no, really. You know, we should see you here more.
Yeah, we haven't
should-
talked in a bit. And
Don't do a
Don't do
voice.
my Cedric the Entertainer voice.
do a
No,
voice.
don't. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah, that's fair. No, he just like wants him to be more a part of the.
Yeah.
Was it the
Kind of. It feels.
What's the big church called again? Sorry.
Abundant Life.
Abundant Life. Yeah. He's like saying, "Come on down. We want to see you more. The youth group likes you, or something."
The
like
youth.
Well, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
scene.
I have
Oh,
a
I
lot
love
of,
that scene.
It's
It's a
very good.
fantastic scene.
But I think something to note here is like this is the first kind of interaction between him and Abundant Life that we see, and I think it's important to note that Toller seems really passionate about his work, but he doesn't seem to get a lot of respect that he feels he deserves.
Yeah.
I think.
Don't get no respect.
Yeah. Okay.
So wait. That's interesting. I never really got because I never really felt like he thought he deserved it in any way or something like that.
I think he
what
feels
made
he's
that
doing. I
stand
think he
out?
feels he's doing important work.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
in an
think so.
underlying way, he would just never say it, but he's
Yeah.
like, oh, guys.
Fair enough. I mean,
I'm
I
trying
I-
so hard.
I don't know. He always kind of maybe. Okay, I could see that later. In
He's
the
really
movie.
passionate
as he
about
starts
First Reformed.
As he starts,
he loves its
spiraling
history, and I think something he says before too is despair is pride. Too.
Who Toller says that?
Toller says that to
Okay,
Michael earlier in the conversation.
Okay.
And I think as he gets more and more down the despair road, his
Because he
pride
feels like he's
yeah.
not being- Okay,
you,
no, I can
you,
see
you
that. I
see
can see
him
that.
get more prideful too as he thinks
well,
that his actions are
that
like universal.
It seems
and
like he stops.
righteous,
He stops,
even though he's going to do something terrible.
You get a lot of things in the first half of the movie where he's like taking care of the church. He's like cleaning the toilet. He's getting the organ fixed and all.
He
this
does
stuff.
a lot.
Even this weird scene
does everything.
where
He sleeps in like a twin bed with a wool blanket.
It's very well
there
made
was
for a little bit.
There was a gravestone that was
tipped over.
and he like took the time to kind of put it back up. So I think he does take pride in what he
He's,
does.
he's
Absolutely.
the,
But then
yeah,
over
he's the
as
caretaker of the church.
but it's
yeah.
like as he kind of gets
Lets himself slide.
goes through the despair side, it's like he stops taking care of it almost. Or
No, he still does.
He stops
guess
taking care of himself.
it's like himself. But
Yeah.
I see a lot of parallels between that church and him as well, kind of in that.
They're
in that
both
sense, but-
250 years old.
No.
Yeah, Toller. Yeah, Toller was talking about. When he mentioned his son died, he was talking about the Revolutionary War.
And I,
Stop. Yeah, that's the big twist.
when
at
he
the
said,
end.
I
when he's talking
pushed
about
him
like
to enlist.
when he's talking about the 2 bullets behind the building, he's like, yeah, there were 2 bullets fired from the battle. Yeah, I was there.
The ending is a big X-Men Origins Wolverine style flashback of him going throughout different
Every
various
war.
historical
it's
battles.
just a bunch of different sons he has dying in every
we
major
thought,
American
we thought that one scene took us
Don't
out
talk to
of
me
it.
about children, Michael.
Just break the entire mold of the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, okay.
But yeah, we get again. He's passionate. Doesn't get a lot of respect. It's reiterated. First Reformed would be a parking lot if not for Abundant Life stepping in and giving them the money they need,
Yep.
and
But instead
especially
they're kind of stepping on him.
yeah.
Am I right?
Especially the donors of First Reformed too, because they have a lot of high-profile donors that become important later in the movie too.
Bulk.
Michael, that's gotta be a terrible noise.
It
Well,
was
it's
not great.
I tried
Yeah.
to make the noise as terrible as the character Edward Balk.
Well, I guess
a
you did a
terrible
good
character.
job. He's bad.
It was
bad dude.
terrible in my ears.
Yeah, Josh's the only one with
I'm
headphones
sorry,
right
you
now.
have headphones on. So I'm just getting drunk on these LaCroix over here.
Oh, God. Okay.
Regardless. Where are we at?
Okay, I think then...
I'm glad you asked, Christian. I'm really doing quite well.
No.
I don't
Michael's
believe you.
definitely the wild card in this podcast.
That's the truest thing I think anyone's ever said.
Just realizing this.
I'm just putting words to it.
Yeah. All right.
Continue.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Can you please start bullying him again just for
Stop.
Kori, go back to your middle school self and just really rag on Michael.
I will punch you in the face.
Oh, my God.
Right.
That is my wife.
And I know I have your permission if she starts bullying me.
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
As much as I love you, I'm
Can-
defending my wife from physical harm.
Who's gonna defend
Also,
you?
I don't think Josh
choice.
gave you permission to assault his wife anyway. That's insane.
Also, my wife's
Michael.
not going to bully you.
Who's here to defend you?
She might actually. Never mind.
Josh also.
Yeah, I'll defend Michael.
What?
Yeah.
If you're being a bully, I'll defend him.
Yeah, see.
Ooh, he's just
Stop
a stand-up
being
guy.
obnoxious.
He is a stand-up
It had
guy.
nothing
I'm
to
not
do
going to
with you.
physically harm you, but I'll stand up for him.
I'm gonna unplug your mic.
No,
You're
don't
not
do that.
plugging
That'll
the
make it. No,
No,
Kori.
don't do it.
All right. Hey, let's get back into the plot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think now we get to the point where
Having-
Mary calls
Having
him.
flashbacks from middle school now.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Oh, see, now I'll make you feel bad. That's how I do it.
I don't feel
just
bad.
You should see her face right now.
I don't.
Yeah, it's unapologetic. Anyway, we get.
I'm confused.
Keep going.
Back
You're
to the
fine.
plot.
You're
Were
fine.
you supposed
I'm
to
trying.
Cole, can we get to the plot already?
Yeah, you're right. I'm really derailing this episode.
Let's go.
We get to the point. Mary texts Toller and says, "You must come over. You must come over."
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
Yes, he has a flip phone as
Yeah,
well, I noticed.
he has my exact flip phone from like 4 years ago. It's
That's
literally
your
yeah,
exact
It's
one?
the exact one. I
That's
had that
awesome.
phone.
That's awesome, man.
How did that make you feel?
Great.
Also, it was more recent than 4 years ago, but we can.
Okay, well, we can
we
move
I
can
past
move
had
past that.
I had a flip phone as soon as 3 months ago.
Oh, I'm getting one. I already have one. I'm
Why?
just gonna start.
We're not
going to
talk about. We know all of you really like your flip phones. Let's move on. Back to the podcast.
Yeah. Big plot moment here, though, is what I'm trying to get to. Is Mary finds the bomb vest,
Right.
looking for batteries, and I guess she found the batteries because batteries are powering the bomb vest.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, thank God. She just takes them out. Puts it in the remote.
She just in her mind that was just his fishing vest or something like that.
It's one of those high-tech fishing vests with batteries.
Yeah, it's got the radar and everything.
Oh my gosh.
They call that a fish finder, Christian.
Fish finder.
Dead silence.
Oh, that'd be a fun movie.
No, it wouldn't. Okay.
The one with Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes, the one with Donnie friggin' Wahlberg.
Is Donnie
I saw
Wahlberg in
that
there?
movie.
Yeah, he's the
cop.
detective.
Oh my
I
gosh.
saw that movie.
It's really bad.
It was not great.
It's so funny. It's super funny. All right,
sucks.
let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay. Mary kind of reiterates, like, don't take it to the police. I think Toller asks. She says, no, I don't think it would do any good. I don't know, just take it. So Toller takes it and...
Says he's going to dispose of it, right?
Yeah, he's going to destroy it.
Isn't it? He's the one. She like asks him if he's going to go to the police, and isn't he the one
He
who
said
says
he asked her if she wants
thought
him
she-
to. Then she says no. He's like, I agree. I don't think that
Yeah.
would help
Yeah,
the
because he
situation.
agreed with it. He's like, I don't think it's
No,
going to
they
help the
both
situation.
She ain't no
initially thought it was a
rat.
bad idea.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to do any good to make him feel threatened or cornered.
Yeah.
Also, in this town, who's there to rat too?
Oh,
Is what he
my
says.
God.
You set yourself up, and boy, did you fall down.
Christian set himself up for that.
That's what I said. I was saying he set himself up.
Okay.
Okay.
Gosh, the hostility.
We get more Toller doing maintenance, and we see him cleaning the toilet. And here's where the Drano gets set up for later.
Chekhov's
Oh, he
dream.
does.
Chekhov's Drano, man. That'll come into play
They did
later.
like set like the way they tied scene to scene in
Mm-hmm.
this movie. I'm looking back like
Setup and payoff is one of
every-
my
lot
more
favorite
than I
things.
thought.
yeah, this movie is full of it. There's nothing unused.
No.
Like, it is all tied.
Yeah, everything's set up from the laptop to the barbed wire he takes the rabbit out of.
Yep.
To, I don't know, just tons of stuff. It's a
Like
lot
things
of
that
very
I
well
thought
written.
would be a throwaway scene are like, nope, that's like crucial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking back, that like this movie's incredible at that.
It's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, we get back in. Oregon's fixed now.
Hey.
I think this kind of goes into making him feel more powerless because he's been trying
it
to
only
get
gets fixed, and
Yeah.
they were like, we'll get to it later.
Well,
but then
every time he's trying to get a hold of the repair guys, they're like, yeah, we'll get to it later. They keep blowing him off, but they finally come in. He walks in. They're already done with
because
it.
Abundant Life
Yeah.
is like, let me pull some old strings.
Yeah,
here
Abundant
with all my
Life got
money.
them to do it, and I think that kind of goes into making him feel a little more useless too.
Yeah.
What?
It's your dream. Let's just go into that right now.
Does Josh know about that?
Oh, please tell him right now. Please tell him
After
right
this
now.
movie?
No, please tell him right now.
Okay. After we watched the movie.
After, yeah.
Oh God. I had a dream where we were at the church, and then Josh was just being like, "Wow, you don't really serve a purpose here anymore."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Weird.
No. That's awful.
Yeah, bad dreams.
Pretty funny,
Dude, I feel like I need to like give you a hug right now. I'm so sorry. No.
He'll
hug.
probably feel worse when you're hugging him.
That's fair.
He always does.
Okay.
I want to give you a loving pat on the head.
I'm sure we'll delve way into this
If he
later.
can reach it.
But
That's fair.
We don't-
I'm a short man.
instead of going into Cole lore, let's go into First Reformed lore.
All right.
Well,
You mean
I don't
First
know. I
Redeemed.
don't know. You did have the guy's cell
No.
phone.
I don't mean that,
kidding.
Corey. I don't mean First Redeemed. That's not the name of the movie or the
No,
church.
I learned
Neither
that.
have
Corey,
that
it's
name.
neither the name.
Hey, Corey.
I know that was a joke because of earlier.
Oh, I got it.
Stop.
It's called the callback, Michael. Look it up. No, don't. Please
unplug
don't.
me.
Don't unplug his microphone.
Please don't unplug.
Then
Okay.
he needs to say,
If you
be
unplug
nice.
that mic while Josh is wearing the headphones, it will kill him.
Do you want me to die?
It's like unplugging someone from the Matrix.
If I have headphones on and a mic gets unplugged, I get unplugged.
That's pretty good.
His soul goes into the ether.
okay,
The plot.
But after this, he gets the text from Michael saying,
Meet
meet me at
this
the
spot."
trailhead.
Yeah.
And he goes to meet him, and then we see Michael's...
Trail, no head, more like.
oh
Holy
yikes!
shit.
There's the trail, but there's no head.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Pretty bad.
And
That
then,
was incredible.
okay, that joke's important because Michael's dead and now without the top of his head because he blew his head off with a shotgun.
Also, I went into this movie not knowing what it was rated.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the scene where I was like,
R.
here we are.
That's like, I feel like that's the only R scene in the whole movie.
I mean,
No,
the
literally
ending.
no.
I definitely
Michael, and I
think
mean this
so.
in the most literal sense. No,
I disagree. I feel like the barbed wire wasn't horrible. I feel like they put that.
it's pretty
They could put
grisly.
that- I've
That's
seen worse
not
than PG.
PG-13.
I've seen worse than PG.
Michael, they
You
show,
haven't.
I think, real footage of a man blowing himself up with a bomb.
They also
that.
do.
Oh,
Yes, that
okay.
is also
that
true.
scene also. That scene also. That I
Also,
forgot,
they probably
I forgot
say
about that one.
fuck a few times.
No,
I don't think
I don't
they
think
do.
they
Oh,
say
they're
it.
all
Was it-
very Christian. What am I
No,
saying?
I
the,
don't think
there
they
was a. I noticed like that was like it was noticeably there wasn't a whole lot of swearing in this movie, but there's a few
They say a
times
lot of
someone
frig.
did. No, actually, the pastor did say shit at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He says the SH word followed by an IT.
Anyways, R-rated movie.
Okay. But I think then, the police come in and he's talking to Tola. One of the cops says he knew his dad, like morbid son of a bitch. You know?
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, that can also
What
show.
do you think that implies?
I think that implies like kind of who you grow up around and who kind of makes you inform your worldview. Kind of that sticks. you know?
environment shapes.
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Ooh, environment.
Christian's on a roll.
He really is.
No, I definitely that scene stuck out to me too. I didn't really think much about it initially though, but yeah,
I think
you're
that really
right.
reinforces
Like
that.
one person's despair can almost run
Be
into
another
the
man's
next.
hope.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's-
go
I
to
mean, it
tell-
also touches on just like the genetics of depression.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, like Michael was depressed and his father probably was before him, and it's probably getting passed down and not getting addressed in generations.
Mental illness runs in the fam.
Okay. Yeah, I think then we get to where he's kind of consoling Mary, and she kind of tells him that she shared Michael's beliefs, but not his despair. And I think that kind of is the first hint.
Line.
Yeah, the first hint of the balancing act, because she sees like how messed up everything is, but she's not gonna be bleak about it. She's not gonna not want to raise a child because
She still has
the
hope,
situation's
yeah.
bad. Yeah, you can still have the hope of things can get better with the kind of despair of things aren't good right now, but maybe someday they can be good again. You know, I think that's the first kind of time it hits upon the balancing act between those, besides when Toller tells Michael that you have to have those two contradictory ideas in your head at the same time. But this is the first character, I think, that does that well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Interesting thing to know, Toller's giving kind of voiceover the whole movie, too. I forget what he says at this point, but he started to not be honest with himself. He's ripping pages out of his journal, which is something he really was
Right.
not supposed to do.
Yeah.
What do you guys think this means? Because I'm still kind of thinking about this.
He said, shoot.
I have
He
an
said-
idea about this.
Go for it.
It's him. I don't know. Perhaps when some people are, again, I don't want to say too hopeful. That's not what I'm looking for. But have that kind of superficial hope or that kind of maybe false hope is the right word.
False hope is just hoping something that's
I think
not
it's just
necessarily
naive
real.
hope.
Naive. That's what I'm looking for.
without
Naive.
necessarily seeing the
People
underlying
do lie to
problems.
themselves a lot. I think probably to make themselves to make things around them seem happy, or they'll kind of. So I don't know. Maybe
I think
he's
it's trying to
ripping
do
it
the
out.
opposite, though, because he's
What do you
starting
mean
to-
the opposite?
I think he's going down more into the despair side of things at this point. You know,
Yeah.
going farther down and
No,
down.
I
there.
no,
He's
I
not
no, I would agree.
Getting more hopeful when he's tearing
so,
those pages
so no,
out.
I don't think he's getting.
I remember
more hopeful.
why
That's
he
not what I'm
tore
saying. What
the
I,
pages
what
up.
I'm saying, what I'm saying is while things are. Wait, what did he say?
Oh, Christian's giving context for the line that made him tear
He
some of the pages
was
out.
trying to think of what your last thoughts were before you.
Okay, so this I think this definitely
And
reinforces that
he
because
felt
I don't.
ashamed of writing that.
I certainly don't think he's feeling more hopeful at all. I think he's definitely
know.
feeling more despair.
We're on the same. Speaking of pages, don't rip this one out because we're all on the same one. He's getting more into despair.
Anyways, but. What, do you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
when
I
someone wants to hold on to that hope, they'll try
He's
to lie
going
to
down that, and
themselves.
he's not acknowledging he's feeling these things. It's kind of like his illness in a way.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what
where
I'm
his
trying to
body's
say.
deteriorating, he's not acknowledging, not going to the doctor, not listening to the
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
But he's feeling these things. He's writing them down.
He's
The evidence is
drinking
there
more,
on the
perhaps,
page.
I think as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the evidence is there on the page of this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling.
But
But
he's
instead of acknowledging
ignoring
it and dealing with it, he's just going to ignore it.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's the despair leads to apathy kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because it's like when you don't have that hope for things to get improved, you kind of just ignore all the things you need to fix.
Yeah, absolutely. I think then we get to the youth group scene.
I love the youth groups.
Oh, dude, this scene.
He's-
This was the pinnacle of the movie
oh
for
my
me.
gosh, I cracked up when I saw this.
No, it's
We've
done.
all had that youth
It's
so
pastor.
too good. Dude,
The
I've been that
tattoos.
youth.
Yeah, I know.
I am that youth.
You were my version of that.
Dude, like the tattoos on the inner arm that say like belief and
Yeah.
faith.
Oh my
Dude, I was
gosh.
like, they nailed this. This is like too on point. Like this is too much.
Yeah. Here, I think it sets up some interesting things too. I think it reinforces Abundant Life's kind of place thematically as the naive, hopeful place, because the youth pastors kind of bring in this hopeful message to the kids, and then one of the girls says, "You know, my dad just lost his job. Like, did he do something wrong?"
passes it immediately.
The pastor doesn't know how to deal with the question.
Toller, you guys remember this guy? What do you say to that?
Yeah,
And then what
and-
the one kid jumps in.
Well, no,
interrupts him, right?
Toller says, you know, all these prosperity gospel guys, they're not necessarily right. There's no dollar sign on the church. There's no American flag either. And that's when one of the kids
Yeah.
jumps down his throat. And
Again, solid pastoring.
yeah, I really like what he
Yeah.
says in this,
Yeah.
though. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But then this one kid, starts to like turn his words.
Well, yeah,
and
he's like,
makes
are you
his
saying
words,
Christians
yeah.
aren't supposed to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
successful?
Yeah.
Like, it starts going into all this crazy stuff. And
Which is, not the case. But yeah, dude, it was that whole scene.
No, it's
I
a
was
cool
like,
scene because we do get
Yeah.
another beautiful representation of kind of the hope and despair thing. Because
Yeah.
the first kid to talk was a really hopeful. There was a lot of good stuff going on in that kid's life. and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. And then the
we
youth pastors
get-
are like, oh, that's really
yeah.
cool. I'm going to talk about that for a while.
Yeah.
And then,
Once he gets hit with the hard question
he
of,
dodges it.
my dad
Yep,
lost
yep.
a job. We're going through a really hard time right now. Did he do something wrong? It's a much harder
he
question
wants-
to
yeah, he-
answer with a lot less pleasing
I think also just
of an
from
answer
like
superficially, at least.
like church perspective, there is also a really good picture of like fund and train your youth leaders.
Yes.
Like especially if they're on staff, which this guy I'm assuming
absolutely.
was.
Probably
Yeah.
made
He
more than
just was,
Toller.
like completely
honest.
unprepared for these things, and it's like dude,
well.
we've all seen this
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like
We
unfortunate.
were some
about-
pretty untrained youth pastors.
Yeah, but you
You're
guys
not pastors, Christian.
Youth
You guys were
leaders.
volunteers.
I mean, like, there's a
leaders.
difference between volunteers and someone like on
On staff getting paid.
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
paid,
Yeah.
and then just like
Making the
something
big
hard happens
bucks.
and you just pass the buck.
Yeah, no, that's
immediately.
not good.
And I was like, man, this is like, even if it wasn't intentional, like you're bringing out, and it's like this. It's not like this is a church that doesn't have resources. Like this is
No, they
this
have
can
an
happen.
abundance.
They I was going to say that.
This is like a church that has so much. It's not like, but still they have this guy who is just woefully unprepared.
Which,
Yeah.
like,
Deal
as
with
well,
this.
because, like, there's not really going to be another guy there to take the hard questions every week. So, probably for the majority of this
Yeah,
group, it's probably not great.
yeah. That was a very interesting scene.
I like this scene a lot.
Yeah.
And he's talking to
Pastor Joel.
again.
And he says, these kids
Says
live in a
the
world we wouldn't
S
recognize.
word.
Smartphones,
Facebook.
the rest of that.
Pornography.
Every scapegoat thing that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that doesn't have to acknowledge, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
actual
But, like,
actual issues that kids are
they
dealing
live in-
with. Yeah.
They live in
Because
a
you're
world
always
without
on these
hope.
phones.
They live in a world without hope, is what he says. But I think, as we see with the youth pastor, they're not prepared to deal with, kids dealing with the despair of living in this world. And I think that kind of speaks to, again, the naive.
So at times they live in a world with nothing but hope.
What?
Yeah,
Because
I'm
it's
not-
always
I'm not
like-
really following you there.
Yeah,
pal.
where the youth pastor is like
Oh,
really
I
receptive
getcha.
to the guy. It's like, things are going great. This is all going good. He's like, yeah. And then, and every person's like, I'm having a tough time. He's like, that sounds like a real tough situation, man.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, too. You don't know how to react to that, and then you're kind of afraid to talk about it, too. I think that's kind of, you feel shame about feeling those things inside, so you keep them inside. I think that's why,
Yeah.
part of why he rips that page out, too, is he feels embarrassed or ashamed of writing that.
Yeah.
But next, I think we get...
keeps it deep down.
Why'd you say that?
'Cause
What
he's
did that
keeping
add?
Because he's keeping it deep down.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Oh, let me say it one more time.
Okay.
He keeps it deep down.
All right, yeah, the third time did not make it any clear.
Underground.
Oh, my God.
Was that an Incredibles reference?
No, that was a Robots reference.
Wow.
The movie
Tom
Robots.
Waits reference. Thank you very much. It's a great song.
What?
All right.
Okay. We get to Michael's ashes being spread, and he wants them spread over this like
the toxic
vile
waste.
landscape. Yeah, like completely destroyed by humans. And the church choir sings a Neil Young protest song too, and this is a pivotal plot point for later as well, because this makes it into the paper.
The papers.
The papers.
Hear all about
Reverend Toller bringing
He is all
politics into the church. Get him out of here, or
Get him out.
Bulk's not going to give Abundant Life $1 billion anymore.
It was exactly that amount.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
But then we get right into that diner scene where
Actually, what did you guys think? What is your guys' take on the whole, like, was he in the right to have, like, the song included and still honor?
here's the thing, we're getting into the conversation that the characters have about this too.
Yeah, one these characters
We're,
to talk
we're
about.
almost at the point where we should be talking about that. All right. We've already posed the question.
We're gonna pause this for like 20 seconds, talk about the plot a little bit longer.
I feel like it'd be weird if we did that.
All
now.
right, well
Nope.
now
we're
we're
gonna
here.
we're gonna
Already talked
press
about
on.
We're in the diner.
We're in the Yeah, okay. Pastor Joel is there. And then we see
Bulk is there.
Edward Bulk. Stop saying it like that. Oh my God. It's gonna sound so bad.
He's a bad
I
guy.
gotta say it that way, man.
Yeah. But Bulk is there. He's a big donor for the church, big oil company dude. And like it starts off kind of normal chit chat stuff, but then like he gets pretty upset that they use that song for the thing. He starts defending his actions and his company's actions too.
Gets
because
very
defensive.
hostile.
He gets,
Let's see, Pastor Joel didn't
was
realize
always-
that
he was
he
kinda
didn't know it
neutral-ish.
happened.
He
But
didn't
then when
even-
Bulk brought it up, he was like, "Oh,
There goes
it
my
won't
money."
happen again," you know.
Yeah.
And then okay, so then we get Toller confronting Bulk about like, okay, well, is it wrong to God? What does he say?
Will
Does
God
he mention that
forgive
will
us?
God
he
forgive
quotes
us for-
Michael because
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
asked
Michael
him
said
that
that.
at the beginning.
Will God
Like-
forgive us for what we've done to this world? And so
Yeah.
he starts to kind of defend why he did.
And
it,
then he says he
he's
regrets saying
respecting
that because the man who says nothing always appears more intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what he wrote in his journal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Bulk just wants to.
And he also, in the scene, I remember him arguing like it was the last wishes of
Yeah.
the deceased.
Just
Like,
respecting
He's just
that as
I am
well.
respecting like the last wishes of the deceased.
Then
And like I don't know. Like I don't know much about the funeral side of things. I guess you might be able to speak to this more. Like
Yeah,
we
Kori
wanna-
has done about 30 funerals at this point.
I have never done a funeral.
Yet.
I have sang at funerals. That is all I've done.
It's getting dark.
I don't know. I think there's a difference between like doing a funeral and respecting the wishes of the deceased and also honoring God. And there's a difference between that and like a Sunday morning church service. Like they're just totally different spaces.
Yeah.
So, and a funeral is about the deceased. So, I think that that's kind of where it lands. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there were cameras there, and it became something more than what it was. But I don't think Toller was like in the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the unfortunate space where politics and church collide.
yeah, then Bulk.
When worlds
Well,
collide.
here's the thing is, I think at first, like Josh was saying, Toller kind of plays it off like it's the last wishes, but Bulk pushes him farther, and
He mentions
digs
the
in and he
whole,
mentions like
he was
starts
dead.
talking
Didn't you
about-
counsel him before he died?
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
like,
we'll get to that in a second, but I want to
Literally in a second.
I want to say it gets more into Toller's sincere beliefs about this issue as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Bulk says like we don't need to bring something to the effect we don't need to bring politics into the church space, and he's like, is it really political though? you
Yeah.
know?
no, he does kind of say,
Is that really a political issue?
97% of
Yeah.
scientists agree on this matter. It's not. It's just
not
kind
really
of
up for debate
common
anymore.
fact at this point.
Which was honestly like another refreshing thing from this film that I was like,
Yeah.
like this is church leadership like standing up for this. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
We're supposed to be stewards of the earth. It says that in Genesis. Like,
Absolutely.
and like we were given this earth to steward it well, and like the church should be leading this conversation, but we are not.
Well, and the
Exa-
church
no, he says
talks
that,
about
too.
creation care.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think you can talk about it in a way that I don't know. There's a way to do it right and there's a way to do it wrong. But talking about creation, like I think we're supposed to talk about creation care.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's kind of saying something too about how businesses getting involved in church really is kind of an immoral thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the pockets of a big oil company, you're probably not going to want to speak out about that kind of stuff, and you sacrifice your own objectivity and maybe principles even
For money.
just to get some more of that donor money. A lot of that. I think churches fall into the trap of appealing to a lot of the like right-wing conservative politics too.
Really?
Because there's
Really?
money.
Yeah.
You too?
There's big money in that.
There's-
Get out.
I'm glad that we're enlightening you tonight, Christian.
Yeah,
Very
Christian's he's having an epiphany after an epiphany.
Oh my god.
And there's a big difference between like a wealthy individual like tithing.
Oh, completely.
And just being
Completely.
like, I'm gonna give this to the church for the church to use and steward well.
Yeah.
Versus like, I'm gonna give this to you on these conditions.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big trap that like some churches fall into, where it's like we're gonna accept money on conditions,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very, very slippery slope.
Yeah, it's almost like Bulk.
Joel gangs up on him too.
Yeah,
at this
no, he
point
does.
a little bit too.
And it's almost like
he wants him
Bulk
just to shut the
is
hell
in
up.
charge
Yep.
of the consecration. He's the one who's really pulling the strings behind that because he everything's kind of going his way since
He's
he has such a
funding it.
since he
Yeah.
has such a huge amount of money that he gives to the church.
If you notice later, I noticed it was really interesting. Bulk Industries on the banner of the consecration
Yeah,
day.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
The Bulk Industries logo was the same size as
Yeah.
why do I forget Abundant Life.
Well,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, it was like they're in partnership with each other.
It was
Symbol
like
is,
bulk featuring
Yeah.
abundant.
yeah, like I was just like,
Bulk Oil Company featuring the church.
and that just like, dude, it just hurt me. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that just
It's
sucks.
just such a simple image that says everything.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, like of what this event
Yeah,
has become.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I think. Yeah, we get to the bike ride. Then he's taking Tuller and Mary go on a bike ride because she.
They're
used to do that.
hanging out more now.
Yeah, they're chilling. They're
chilling. They're laying it down.
yeah.
Laying that.
not
foundation.
yet, not
Oh.
yet.
Cole hasn't beat one
I
person
haven't-
to a joke.
It's literally
what's,
killing me.
Cole, what's going on? You're off your game tonight.
Yeah, he's always.
I know. I'm not fast enough. I'm getting beat to the punch every time with my jokes.
So
But
they're going on a bike ride.
yeah, they're hanging out more. This is something Mary used to do with Michael a lot.
Twice a week.
Yeah. And she said it was really good. And Toller's really happy.
Joel is also there.
Yeah, I feel like this is like one of the few times we see him
The movie all of a
legitimately
sudden
happy
changes
the
its
entire
character.
You know,
film.
like
Oh, yeah.
exercise, it's God given.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like I found this scene really interesting where it was like, and it's again like going back to movement of camera. One of the
This
only
is one of the
scenes that
ones,
are, and I feel like the movement in the camera here is symbolic of like there's something happening. There's something like in him that's sparking, where there's joy in him.
He's not always in the garden anymore. Now he's actually like he's out, living. He's riding a bike.
What are you saying?
He's doing the Joel thing from later in the movie.
Joel
That was
tells
just
him
later.
he's,
Even
he's
Jesus
always
isn't
in
al-
the
yeah.
He's like even Jesus
You're
isn't always
you're
in the garden.
always in the garden. Okay.
yeah.
I'm glad that everyone else got it. I was just based on on Michael's reaction.
Hey, I'm glad I
No,
have
man.
so much power over you.
I'll demolish you inside and out.
What?
You feel in charge.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Man. No.
Real quick, can you open the door? It's hot.
Yeah, I think the
The washer and dryer.
Sorry, me and Christian,
We'll
our
bleep that out.
pheromones are just off the charts
No.
right now for each other.
Okay.
Those charts, they're off them.
Oh yeah.
Let's resume.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So
And then,
Ooh, that is a breeze. It's like
oh my gosh, this is.
all right.
No,
3,
it's kind of like
2.
the saline.
we want to
being
say
One.
more about the
into this
diner scene?
room.
No, I think we've said everything
yeah.
about that. All right, Josh, count down, please. Again.
Three,
we're actually probably-
2, 1.
Zip it a dop doop da, and we're back.
I'm gonna do it one more time.
but I guess that is the thing about this podcast is we do always announce when there's a cut.
Yeah, people need to know we're honest people.
Okay,
Don't
fair
worry,
enough.
so
We're,
I'm
we're
gonna
just
do
gonna
my-
And we're
continue.
back.
Let me do
We literally
Oh,
always
yeah.
go. It's like
Okay, so we're going.
mid-sentence and we're back.
Like he doesn't even skip a beat.
No.
I kind of love that. Let's just embrace
We're on a
that.
bike, and we're back.
Yeah,
Pretty
Yep, yep.
much.
There's no commercial breaks, but you're
Not
just
yet.
you're
I mean,
leaving space
hopefully.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
wishful thinking.
Hope, if you will.
Maybe we could
You
be
got it. You
sponsored
got it,
by
Cole.
your Etsy shop if you.
The Dianu Collective. Find it in my bio on my Instagram, KP Schoenig.
Well, we're actually gonna bleep that out until you pay us for the ad roll. So
I can't do that. I haven't made any sales.
Careful,
Just
Christian.
kidding, I
Pretty
have.
soon she'll be paying us $1 billion, then calling the shots.
I'll be the boss.
I'd be.
Yeah.
The boss,
Can you imagine
baby.
that? Corey runs.
Sometimes
She'll be bulk.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I just
bulk.
I just want to be the boss and the baby, you know.
Okay. Toller looks through Michael's stuff.
Oh yeah. He takes
Oh, yeah,
all
we're
his,
talking
so
about
he
a
takes
movie.
all of his possessions
Yeah.
from the house
He
because
finds
Mary
his
doesn't
will,
want
I
to see
think,
it.
at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like under the computer.
Yeah, because he's taking the stuff. Mary doesn't want it in the house
Yep.
anymore. She's about to move. Michael takes the computer, finds his will under there. I think at this point he's looking through the computer. He's researching some of the saved documents Michael has, and he finds out like,
Gets a little indoctrinated.
well, yeah, a little bit,
Oh, a little.
but It's the despair thing gone too far again, because he's fallen deeper into this.
Yes.
He's
more
seeing
indoctrinated into despair.
He's seeing more of the truth of the world, but doesn't have the hope to balance it out.
Yeah.
And so he's starting to think some pretty crazy stuff. He sees that Bulk is one bad dude.
He's one bad.
He's one bad dude. That's why Michael's been saying his name in the worst possible way.
Wasn't
you can
the so
into a
yeah
microphone.
because at the diner scene didn't Balk say like with the whole where the funeral
he's
was
talking
he was
about
like
his-
oh we didn't
he's
we,
talking about how
we
good
paid,
his company
we
is.
paid to clean that up but then doesn't he find out on the computer it was like
Yep.
Balk was actually responsible for the whole
They're
mess in
really
the first
bad
place.
due to some of the
Yeah.
research he's
So
found.
they put out like a lot of the I mean just they're not good for the
They're like
environment
one of the
whatsoever.
top
top
polluters.
polluters.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think then we're at the doctor, and he's getting checked, and the doctor's like, "Hey, you probably got cancer."
Do you drink? And he's like, only in
Moderation.
That
Which
is
I think if I was a doctor, I would assume that means a lot. I think that'd be a
Basically,
code word
anytime
for
he's journaling, he's just
pouring a
downing
tall
whiskey.
glass of
Guzzling.
whiskey.
Yeah, he's definitely an alcoholic. So I was such. So what happens? Does the doctor say anything else?
The doctor's
to him?
like,
It's
He says we're going to
tells
run
him-
some further tests, but we're pretty sure.
Yeah, tells him he's got to stop drinking. Also,
Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't do that.
No,
though.
he well,
That's where we get these weird.
he makes it a little better. He makes a
cocktails.
Pepto-Bismol cocktail.
It's disgusting.
It's a cool
That
shot.
was a,
So
it was
I-
a really cool shot.
it
but that's a
coagulates.
So
horrible-
hold on, I really like that shot because it kind of, for me at least, it kind of it was almost like
represented the hope of the Pepto-Bismol.
No, the kind of like
and it
the,
mixes
almost,
with the despair of the whiskey really well.
It just looked like because he was seeing all the pictures on the computer of like the oil and all that stuff. It kind of
yeah.
me of like
Oh,
the,
yeah, right.
the
It's just
oil
really
and-
bleak.
I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it like I mean it was.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Probably
Here,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we should have
for a
for this
segment.
episode.
I was going to say, I have an idea for a segment. If there's any weird drink
We just
in a
try
movie, we
it.
have to make it, and the guests have to drink it too.
No.
Yes.
You dodged the bullet this time. I just had this idea now.
I don't,
will
I
not
don't
be a
drink, though,
guest
so I just get to
again.
watch you guys drink everything.
Yeah, you
No.
just drink the Pepto.
I'm just drinking.
Yep.
That's I mean yeah.
Yeah, but twice the amount.
Yeah, we measure it all out. Okay.
Anyway.
But this sends him farther in to, I
Despair.
think. Yeah. He doesn't want to get any more tests. He starts drinking
That
more.
whole
it's
idea
like,
of
oh, now I'm
ignoring
dying.
kind of the.
Is this where he calls Esther a stumbling block?
Hold
which
on,
is
we're
like
not there. Almost,
we're not
almost,
there.
the
almost.
worst
no, but
Christian
but Cole,
insult.
Michael's trying to say
That is
something. Hold on.
great. That's crazy. No, we see more of
I
the
despise you.
the whole idea where he's ignoring the things that are very present.
I'm trying to say that.
That's what I want. I was.
I was saying it, and you interrupted me to say the
I
thing I
didn't-
was in the middle of saying.
Okay.
But
Anyways.
I wanted to say it.
Yes, I wanted to say it. So
I
I
wanted to
said
say
it.
it.
Now you
Yes,
say it
This
again.
gets into the apathy of despair. He has all the information laid out for him. Again, he knows what's wrong, but he's not going to do anything about it because he doesn't have the hope that things can get better. Like now it's taking the turn of his physical life too.
Right.
Like his health. He's not going to stop drinking. He's not going to go get any more tests. He's not going to get the chemo he needs if he does have the cancer. You know?
Yeah, for being like, I don't know.
Michael's making a face.
No,
What face are you
I
making?
just ignore me.
Because I was just going to talk about how he's a pretty good-looking guy
about
despite all his like dishevelment and despair.
I was thinking
You
of
can't make
was in,
Ethan Hawke ugly.
Ethan
was
Hawke,
in
no, but
freaking,
especially I think this is his hottest role. Name one hotter.
Dad pastor.
What?
That's his look in this.
Oh, I thought that was a movie. I was like, what?
It's
It
like a
can
BoJack
be.
Horseman movie name.
Dad
Cole, do you want to know why I was making the face?
What?
Oh,
Yes,
it's because I was thinking of Creed in the scene where Rocky's like,
Creed?
"No, I don't want to do the chemo. You know,
Oh
my
my
wife did all of that, and I'm good. You know."
I'm good.
Just let my organs explode.
I don't think that's how cancer works.
In Rocky's case, that's the only way cancer could take him down.
It goes straight to your
It's
lymph nodes,
explosive
and then you
cancer.
blow up.
It's nanotech cancer that Rocky has.
Nanos. Okay.
Okay,
Back
where are we
to
at now?
Okay, yeah. Is
talking
that,
about how Ethan Hawke, more like Ethan Hot.
Dad.
Maybe,
Dad pastor.
maybe Sinister with the cardigan.
He is pretty hot in that.
He's pretty hot in that.
Ethan Hawke's
What
a
do
hot
you
dude.
think,
Okay.
Corey?
Yeah, how hot is Ethan Hawke in this movie? Say the right answer.
On a scale of Dead Poet Society to Sinister,
Which-
what are you thinking?
Which one are we talking about?
Talking
The
about
main character.
I didn't know his actor name.
Oh well,
Oh God.
that's his real name too, by the way.
If I'm honest, we watched it so late. I really don't have
Oh,
his face.
Okay,
in
let
my
me
mind.
let me pull up a picture for you
Is this
right
happening
now.
right now?
Yep, because
You
this,
guys asked
this will
me
not
right
slide.
now.
I won't let this slide. All right.
Wait, what?
How
Oh.
hot is this guy?
I actually thought he kind of looked like the zombie from Warm Bodies.
No.
So does that answer? Does that answer
Your
your
turn,
question?
Cole.
Literally
Into
Does that answer your question?
It depends. Do you think that guy is also hot?
I thought he looked dead.
Oh, so she's.
So
I mean,
She
I did
says
think
that's a,
he
that's
was
a no.
kind of attractive as a zombie. For a zombie.
oh God.
Are we talking
about
about
for
Ethan
a
Hawke
pastor?
or
Now
I'm
we're
gonna go on the
warm
record here. I
bodies
think
type of
Ethan
thing.
Hawke is smoking hot.
call him
I think he's smoking hot.
I
My
missed-
answer
Hawke.
is.
Oh my God. We need to move on.
My
We need to move
answer
on.
is I thought he looked like a zombie.
I just
Okay.
want to say that in this movie, Ethan Hawke is smoking
We
hot.
are moving on. Okay.
I'm trademarking that now.
Yeah. Okay. Esther shows up, and this is
Yeah.
the point Christian wants to talk about.
You need someone to take care of you.
Yeah.
Do you think that what we did was sin? No, that was way earlier.
That was the
Yeah.
That was at
scene.
lunch.
seen
That,
enough
that was
real
a,
sin
that
to
was
know
a
the difference.
classic
This is where
lunch
this is where he
conversation.
just kind
Yeah.
of gets annoyed with it, and he's just like,
I despise you.
He gets a little peeved, and he goes, "I despise you,
She
Esther."
just keeps bugging him. He's like,
you
no.
would do. If you got a little peeved, I despise you. Tell people you tell people to perish.
That's such a good word, though.
Perish, you knave.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I despise
You are a stumbling
You
block.
remind me of everything I hate.
Yeah, like he really lays into her.
And then
he really does.
and
It
then
was brutal.
and then with the
What do you think about that scene? Like, where does that fit in the whole?
he's just
I think
feeling
he's really-
so much
yeah.
despair and
The fact that anybody cares for him or wants him to take care
Yeah.
of himself is pissing him off a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, I
However,
think he.
Although
it's-
I will say she is a really annoying character. She's like,
I
good.
thought she was fine.
No, she was really annoying.
Okay.
I also thought
just
she
did-
was fine.
She just didn't get the picture, man. He kept saying no, and
Whoa.
she was like, "No, I'm gonna."
Yeah, I mean there was a little bit of like desperation.
So I
but-
thought it was.
But yeah, he
she was
calls
very
her a
deserving of
stumbling
the-
block,
yeah,
which
stumbling
is
In the
block.
Christian
mean-
community, if you didn't
harsh.
know,
Can you guys think of like a harsher thing
you could say
call
to
someone
somebody that's
like-
angry than a
yeah, I
stumbling
can think of
block.
one. You call him a
I'm-
Pharisee.
Jezebel.
calling someone a Jezebel is a good one.
Get
as well.
behind me, Satan.
yeah.
Yeah,
I say that to people a lot.
Great.
I want to start calling more people Jezebels.
Don't do
I
that.
won't.
yeah. Please don't.
That's not very nice.
All right. Well, moving on. You know
Hotep, hoy.
What?
what?
I'm just trying to
Explain.
get people's attention so we can move on.
By
From the
saying
Prince of
nonsense?
You don't
well,
have to do
well,
a priest name. The priest
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Okay.
You got everyone's attention, and then we didn't move on.
All right, move on.
Oh, Christian, you were wrong. We didn't get the Pepto and whiskey yet. That comes at this part.
Sorry.
He's watching the bomb vest video, and then he pours
Right.
himself some
Ah,
nice.
he's like, my tummy doesn't feel
My
good
tummy
after
feels
watching
bad
that.
after watching the man explode himself.
He watches it
Wait,
twice.
so then have we already talked about the fact that he kept the bomb vest?
No,
I think
haven't
we
gotten
glossed
there.
over that.
No, wait.
No, we didn't
Do we
know.
Get that yet?
We don't even
we
know
don't know
yet.
yet.
Oh, no,
I
wait,
don't
I
think
don't
we
know
know
yet.
yet.
We don't see him throw it away.
We don't see him. Yeah,
He
we
doesn't
don't
pull
know.
it out
We don't
yet,
know what
though.
he did.
When
with
does
it.
So
yeah,
he's
no,
just watching
It's
the
soon.
video.
It's really soon.
It's right now.
It's
You're
we're
so close.
Okay.
Just one
Oh,
second,
well,
just
we'll
one
get
more
there
second.
in a sec.
Let's get there.
It's always one more
Okay.
second.
Yeah, 'cause I guess it was a reveal.
So
Well, not anymore.
Do they show it at this point? I don't know.
They show
No,
it.
I
'cause it-
thought he had like pulled it out and was looking at it, and then looked up videos to see
No,
how to use
He
it.
did.
I thought we had
I
already
think you're right.
known.
Either it was that or vice versa, but I think you're right because he did pull it out just to look. at
It might
once.
be in this scene. Yeah, she
Um,
might be
And
right.
then he looks up the YouTube video or whatever, and that
Yeah, that-
because
I
he's
think that's
curious what
correct.
it
That
what if
dude-
he
I
was
think
to
that's
use
correct.
it, what would it be
That
like?
He
dude-
did pull it out and look at it, and I think that's when he watched the video.
That dude lives up to his full potential of being exploded. Call
that joke
another
feels
another call.
less
That
to
dude saw the
Iron
Iron Giant and was like, I can be a gun.
Stop! Oh God. Okay, that's bad.
Yeah. I don't know, the other,
Yeah.
you know, bring it back to that scene with Esther though. Like, I feel like it is like we're seeing the full breaking of him, Where
Yeah.
usually he's shown a lot of grace
Yeah, he's
and a lot of
patient.
restraint with her and a lot of patience
Well,
with
I'd
her.
say not even just her, to the people that are blatantly disrespectful to him. He's still.
We're seeing
Yeah.
the full indoctrination and the full breaking of his mental state here.
I think so too.
He's just starting
Yeah,
to not
I mean,
Yeah.
oh, he's
Yeah.
apathy.
still got a bomb fest with him.
Yeah.
I'm looking up bomb videos.
Okay.
Yep.
That's sus, man.
Then it's time for Chekhov's barbed wire. As we go to another scene of him doing some maintenance around First Reformed, and there's a rabbit caught in some barbed wire, and he cuts it out, and he's like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna save this for later.
See, I thought he was just grabbing it to throw it away. I didn't think he was saving it.
I
He
guys, I'm telling
royally
you,
does
'cause
not throw
okay,
that barbed
clearly
wire
he
away.
Guys, I'm telling you,
Throw it
I've had
away.
the same thought. I look at barbed wire and go,
What?
that would be comfortable.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Perfectly normal
Also,
thing to think.
do you
No.
guys think there's symbolism in the rabbit?
I was gonna ask.
Absolutely, I think there is.
Yeah.
But I'm too stupid to know what it is.
I know,
thinking-
that's
Able
like-
to
Are we
release
thinking-
the rabbit from the barbed wire, but
Are we
can't
thinking
release
Bugs Bunny?
himself.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure no.
Okay.
I'd like to hear why you think that.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Because
Thanks, Christian.
why would
No,
Bugs
why
Bunny?
you think? You think I'm on your side?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, Corey.
did you
I'd like to
tell?
hear your explanation of why that's not Bugs
You
Bunny.
said the insane thing, Corey.
I think you need to allow. Like you can't just say things
you
like
just
that. and not
throw me
elaborate.
under the bus.
Corey.
That played out so well. Anyways, yeah. So, is there any symbolism in the rabbit? Wabbit?
I feel like there is.
White
I
rabbit?
can't-
Wabbit.
I can't put my hand on something. I don't know.
There's something there. We're all just.
Yeah, we're all just a little too stupid to know what
Going
it
over
is.
my head.
Maybe it's just a rabbit is part of nature. Nature destroyed by metal man.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
Environment.
It's a
you know.
gun.
Nature is a gun. Sounds
Okay.
like
All right, now
an album title.
we're at the dream sequence that
Oh,
you guys didn't like very
I will be
much.
honest.
That
This
was
is
so weird.
by far my worst. The worst
All right,
scene. in
why
the
did
movie.
it-
Also,
why
hold
didn't
on, wait.
you
I
guys
want to
like
reiterate something. We don't know
It
if it's a
made
dream
no
sequence.
sense.
We don't see him wake up. It does make sense.
One, why
Okay.
was he just like, do you want me to do that for you?
Yeah, just the awkwardness
Like,
of this scene alone.
hey,
Oh, my husband used to do this for me. Do you want me to do that for you?
'Cause
Yeah, lay on
he's
the
a
ground.
horny
Oh,
dude, okay?
that was a dream.
I
We
don't know.
I,
No,
I,
I thought it was.
I don't think it was
I don't think
a
it
dream.
literally happened.
No, I
no,
think
I think they literally like
I
maybe
don't
they
think
fell
they did that.
asleep.
I don't think they
I think
did.
Paul
think they
Schrader just
did.
cut
I don't
up
think
the
she
scene.
even came into his house that night.
I think Paul
Really?
Schrader.
Really?
No.
Okay, explain your theory.
Well,
on this.
wait, that's
I'm curious.
interesting.
No, I think
Everyone's
this
That's
is just,
interesting. I
There's
don't.
just
that's
no other
inter-
part
okay,
of the
that's-
movie
That's a
that's
hot
not
take.
that.
Hold on. To me, this scene
To
plays
what?
out as kind of a look into his internal state at this point.
Okay.
She walks into the house.
His internal state.
They
is
lay on
pretty
top of each other.
lit.
They fly up and everything. They are balanced.
Okay.
But once they both have their eyes closed,
Okay.
and it's the scenes of the peaceful nature and everything, right?
Okay.
But there's a moment where he opens his eyes and looks around, and it's just him looking around. And then that's when it starts to turn into
Space.
no. They go into. I didn't feel I needed to bring up the space because it wasn't really that important.
I thought it was
That
cool.
was the weird part.
Okay, but the second he opens his eyes and turns away and kind of breaks the contact, that's when it turns into the
Right, the
pollution
pollution,
and
all
all
that
the
Interesting.
like awful stuff. So
Interesting.
I think that kind of disrupts the balance that they had.
But
going
you don't
on.
think that she was
I
there?
don't think that literally happened.
I
no.
think it literally.
I don't think
happened.
they literally
I
floated
think-
through the universe.
No, Corey. Oh my gosh, that's not what I'm saying.
but I think
No,
the
I
other
think
part.
I think she and
I
him
don't
were.
think that
I think
happened.
they
I
were
think she
literally there. I
actually
think they were
came
literally on
in.
top of each other.
Yeah,
No.
I think they.
Yeah,
I
no,
disagree.
I think that
I disagree,
happened.
Gary.
I think that happened.
I don't see why
just
it wouldn't be
think
real.
that-
He was doing all these other things with her. That, this is taking the next
That's
step.
such a leap from riding bikes to lay
Okay,
on top
so
of
then
me,
what about
breathing
the
same
leap of
shit.
if that didn't happen, then the
said
leap
no, and then
was
she's-
they rode bikes and then bam, they're just making out at the end of the movie. It makes
that
more
makes sense.
sense that hey, we laid on top of each other
hey,
and then we made out
That-
later.
those
I think
those
this
are
is-
those are the
I
two
mean,
stages.
Okay, this
doesn't-
is-
I
I
guess it
feel
doesn't
like
really
the whole
matter if
outer
she's there or
space thing
not.
was just like
You
a
didn't like
depiction
that?
of like
I think it's getting you primed for how weird the ending of the movie is going to be, and it's
I don't
telling you
think so.
maybe
Nothing
the
got you
stuff is going to
primed
be
See, like-
taken a little less literally from now on.
So
I don't think
no,
so.
because
I still thought everything
No.
happened.
So
as it happened.
everything else
No.
in the film to me was very immersive.
Yeah.
This was the one scene I was like, this broke immersion for me.
That
yeah,
actually
you
is where
literally
I
said
felt,
that out loud.
I was like, dude, this is it's a break in directing.
yeah, Josh, I
It's a-
looked back at you and you were broken of immersion.
yeah.
That's actually where I felt the most immersed.
I was like, because it's even a break in like I feel like in directing, like it just.
I think it's almost
feels-
intentionally so though.
I
don't know.
guess it was.
I
was
think
not a
he
fan.
just felt
It was-
like an out of body experience.
I think it's
and
just
that's
pure
why...
symbolism in that.
What we didn't see was that Paul Schrader just cut the scene where they both
Schrader. Oh my God, you're
Paul
fucking me up too
Schrader.
now.
No, where Paul Schrader cut the scene where they both smoked a blunt right before, and that's why they
It's a
were seeing all
joint,
this
actually.
joint.
I would be curious
Spliff.
to like see his commentary on this scene,
Yeah.
like to watch like director commentary. On
I bet
that
it just
scene.
says Cole's
I've
wrong.
seen-
It just talks about how hot Ethan Hawke is.
Okay,
the
yeah,
whole
so
time.
this
It doesn't. Yeah, I've seen some Paul Schrader interviews, and I'll get into that because he has some takes on the ending too.
Okay, yeah,
But that's the main thing I've seen. I haven't seen his take on what this scene means to him.
interesting. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. To me, that it seemed intentionally kind of jarring and almost like kind of a
Yeah.
look
Oh, yeah.
into his
Yeah.
internal state, more of something that's literally happening to
Yeah.
him.
I think
I mean,
it
I knew it
full-on
was like
happened.
not literally happening, but like it just felt
I think they traveled
little
through
on the
space and
nose.
time.
too on the nose.
I get you.
Yeah.
Well,
like
that's
that was the
an
thing. It was
interesting
like it
take.
was. I feel like even like the environmental message in the movie was coming across very well, and then this was like
Until.
too heavy-handed.
I think I could agree with that.
I think
yeah.
I think it did happen. At least they laid on each other, because then after that they're like holding hands when she's saying that she's gonna go to her sisters. They're literally like prolonged hand.
That's like pastor
contact.
holding hands, though.
No, it's not.
I've
I've
never
held
held a
hands with so many
pastor's
hand.
pastors,
Yeah,
and
no,
they've
I'm
never
joking. It was-
held my
Christian,
hands
hold
like
my hand
that.
right now, just because I want to.
I can't imagine our pastor coming up to me and going, "Josh, give me your hands."
Yeah, our
And
pastor
they'll be
doesn't
like,
look
"Hey,
at
do you want me to come with? I'll see you
It's
at
not
your
true.
sister's house." Like, come on, you don't
Dude,
think they laid?
He's got the bone for her.
Oh, my.
No,
That's
Is that
the
as
way to
jarring
put
as the
that.
scene?
Okay.
Anyways,
No?
Josh, I do like what you said though, because
I think it's a
honestly,
little on the nose. I do
most
agree.
of the movie, I never really felt the whole. It's a big part of the movie. I never felt like it was being thrown in my face so that like that was a huge message. But this
Yeah.
this scene probably was the most in your face
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
If you
I'm
look at it that way,
conflicted about this.
I still
I don't
think it
think-
is more symbolic than anything.
Yeah.
because that's how the
Yeah.
whole movie holds up. I don't think he would
what
just
do you
throw
think
that
it
in there.
symbolizes?
What do you
I
mean?
do think the whole
What do you mean?
montage
Whole
like
idea. Open
symbolizes,
despair.
you know, the shift that creation's
Pollution
taken.
and
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's a good
Space
point too.
Yes.
Almost like the fall
Space
of creation.
Yeah,
But
Can we launch all the pollution
I still
into
think
space?
Didn't you see Wall?
what happened between them two really happened. What are you guys talking
stupid
about?
conversation. Like you're
Sorry.
saying something
I'm
really,
really
genuine.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's disrespectful. Please continue.
I'm done. Cole,
Michael, you come into my house. You listen to my wife.
Oh yeah, I
gotta
forgot
do
to mention we're in Schoenig Studios right now.
Yes. Now almost half the episodes have been recorded. We recorded one other episode here.
Yeah. We're buying this studio.
Listen-
Setting some new rules.
Well, it's not like that shouldn't be a problem.
I will
doing
sell it
that.
to you for double its value.
$2.
No.
You said double the value.
No,
so
no.
$4.
Okay. Moving on.
Now
Unless-
I'm really sad about my gear.
wow.
Josh, you have very nice gear.
Where were we?
Okay,
Oh yeah, the
we're
floating
at
through
the-
space.
Past the
We're in
jump
space.
sequence.
Does anybody else have any last remarks about this?
No,
thought it was
I've
cool.
said my piece.
Yeah, I feel conflicted about it. I kind of like
I like it.
where it's setting up, but I think they reinforce it throughout the movie
Yeah.
pretty well as it is. I don't know if we needed that.
That's
Yeah.
what.
But
See, that's why
I think
it
I
was
see where it
unnecessary.
was going.
I
I'm
thought it
conflicted
was
on
just a little too much, but it
Yeah.
is. It is a jar. It's
I
a very
definitely
different scene.
understand that
It's a
take.
very different scene.
I can enjoy a good jarring scene. It just was.
It's weird.
The
how
whole
it
thing
played
just
out.
seemed
Yeah.
not necessary. Like we all put the pieces together. Yeah, they were gonna get together, and then like
Feels
the
like when
Earth stuff.
Yeah, it feels like when you go into an IMAX and you see an Earth documentary and a space documentary. It's just like, wow.
Okay, well, we got to move on because
Yep.
this has
You
been.
heard me.
I think we've said about all we can say about that.
True.
Is that a challenge?
We're getting into the
I can find more.
we're getting into the point where Toller's with that group of kids and he's showing them kind of around the history of the church, and he mentions that
Yep.
much like Thomas Wayne, or not Thomas Wayne, no, literally,
The Wayne
family. First,
Thomas
Wayne Manor.
Thomas Wayne is also
He's
immortal.
also 200 years old. Much like Thomas
And
Wayne.
exists in the world of this film.
I wish.
Okay, but much like the Wayne family, First Reformed had a big part in helping out with the Underground Railroad.
Yep.
And this could be a really kind of uplifting message. Like,
Could have been. I actually love this scene. This is probably my favorite scene.
Such a dark turn.
He like starts. He's super interested. He's like, "Yeah, come here, kid." He wants one of the
Do you
kids to help
guys
him out.
notice
Like,
a
could
part?
you
He's
imagine?
like, okay.
It starts out really nice.
I guess why I like it is because at first he's like very. How he's explaining stuff is like they're what they are, like 5-year-old kids. Like, do you guys notice that part of the floor is
Yeah, he's,
different?
like,
Yeah.
than
really
another
good
part
with
of
the
the
kids.
floor? And then like
Like,
2 minutes
yeah.
later,
All of a
he's
sudden,
like, could you imagine
being
with
down
your
there?
family, not knowing if you're
Cold,
gonna live or die,
dark.
feeling the hot breath of your loved ones,
Hearing the-
maybe their last.
hearing the footsteps
hearing the
above you.
footsteps and the hounds outside. It's
As
like-
they're looking into this pit.
That is such a crazy shot too of just that dialogue over just the really center. I think that's something too. Is a lot of the shots are super center
They're
heavy.
super centered. Okay, they also.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4:3.
I did notice there was a
It is
couple.
4:3.
That
There
wasn't
was a
even
couple camera movement things that aren't camera moving, but they're doing like the Jaws zoom, and
Yeah.
they did it on that to like increase the claustrophobia of the pit. Like that to me was like, oh, it's very subtle how they're doing it. It's like a slow zoom in, and it was like, oh, this is
Vertigo. type,
yeah.
No, that's not how you do
Vertigo.
that.
No.
No, because the vertigo thing is where you move the camera in, or you move the camera back and zoom in at the same time. That's how you get that kind of effect.
and then I
Okay,
throw
well, that's
up.
literally what I thought I was explaining. So if that's not the case,
This
You're
is not
describing
important.
something that was of
Let's
Zoom.
just
Okay.
move on.
But I think this kind of sets in like Toller's all the way in at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
talking to these kids saying crazy stuff, probably scarring them for life
Super funny, man.
in great detail.
And it's like taking this really cool piece of history about the church and like just kind of like flipping on its
Yeah,
head.
but here's the thing, that is the reality of it too. But
Yeah.
the undergrad railroad was a hopeful thing. It helped people.
No,
Yeah,
he,
but he's
terrible
looking at the
situation.
despair.
he
Yes,
starts
exactly.
he starts sounding like Michael, basically.
Because
yeah.
I think this is important too. With talking about history, it's important not to gloss over the really terrible things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Address them for what they are, but understand that
you
things
can't
were done.
leave Jesus in the tomb when talking about history.
I'll give you a handshake for that one.
But there are
Just to
moments
make
of
you
great triumph in history
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And that can-
Looking at the good and the bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's
Holding both of these
seeing
in
like
your head.
this like symbolism of hope and like freedom and taking the horror of it and bringing
Yeah,
that to
yeah.
light and shoving it on children. Like
I think this is another important, an interesting line I had. I don't know if we'll spend too much time on it, but
We'll see.
when Toller's talking, I think, was it Toller talking about his grandfather who died in the elevator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he's talking.
He died
to Mary,
between the first and second floor.
He
It's
said,
kind
boys, you gotta
take off my shoes
off
because this is
holy.
this is a
ground."
holy elevator.
or I think he said it's holy ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna. You
I was
threw
making
me
a
off
joke.
so much, and then he died somewhere
Yeah.
between the first and second
Yeah,
floor.
but I think
About your husband that killed himself. When I think about that story, I think he was on holy ground. Don't you think? Wouldn't you agree?
he had more
Recent widow.
he had a more of a holy head at
And
that
then he's
point.
like embraced.
Wow.
Cole, you got one in. You got one in.
Say holy head.
I did. That was awful of me.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, but why I wrote this line down is I think it
I
kind of.
thought you meant you wrote that joke.
I did not write that joke down. I made that up right now.
This is my time.
But I think him dying between the first and second floor is kind of having to be in that mentality of like in between almost. It's another
That's the-
reinforcement
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't.
The in
think about
between
that
is
at
the
all.
holy ground.
Oh.
But pretty much, I think the next scene is Toller being like, "Hey, Mary, don't come to the consecration tomorrow."
Oh yeah, she's like, I was
don't
gonna go.
want
No, I don't want you there.
Please.
Please
do
do
not
not.
Really weird. You kind of get the sense that maybe
Do not order the
maybe
excellent.
maybe something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna do something not great.
Stupid.
Think it has anything to do with the
Dangerous?
vest?
No. What?
Oh,
What
then
do
what
you
could
mean?
it be?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I need to rewatch the movie.
Definitely has something to do with the vest.
Yeah, but we see him
Really?
trying the vest on
Yeah, he's
after
gonna
this
go
scene.
fishing. You know, he's got
He does
Right,
a lot
yeah.
of like
He-
soldier moves.
Yeah, he's doing the salute. You know, you see the flag in the background that's all
Yeah.
wrapped
Oh,
up
that's
for his
something.
son. I think.
That's something I want to say about the closet too, because you get some shots. There's a shot of the closet at some point there. You do see a lot of kind of the stuff he. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. This might just be coming to me in the moment, but for some weird reason, the closet stuck out to me because there was stuff back there that he
Well,
was
it's
putting.
important in his
the
life.
flag-
He's burying
yeah.
a lot of the pain because
Yes,
the
that's
flag
exactly
is
what I was
from
thinking.
his
Yes,
son.
that's exactly what I was thinking. That's
Not
kind
addressing
of
it, the apathy of despair.
Yeah, he's just kind of shoving it back and not.
Do you think he's got
Not
some
recognizing
skeletons in that closet?
Oh yeah, he put Michael back there, man. Like his whole
Okay,
dead
oh
body.
my
There's
God.
a literal skeleton back there.
Okay.
Jeez.
You need to stop
There's
right
There's an
now.
entire skeleton back there.
Stop right now.
That's something we
Not
can
just the
bleep out.
vest, but the man who
Nope.
made it.
Hey,
It's staying
hey.
in.
Oh, stop.
Who cares?
You kept going.
Yeah, you went on for so long.
Stop.
That joke.
No. I just
No,
wanted to-
just don't stop.
I just want to get back to the closet.
Okay,
I'm
let's
coming out.
do that.
Stop. That's getting bleeped.
All right, I'm sorry.
Cole, how about you say something about the closet? Michael.
I already said what I wanted to
No.
say.
Okay, then
what
let's
I-
move
It
past
shows
the
him
closet.
shoving down
That's-
his pain and
that's
not
what I wanted to
dealing
say.
with
That's
it.
exactly what I wanted
Because
to
he
say.
just literally shoves it in the
Why
closet.
yeah.
Okay. He puts on the vest. He goes to the bulk factory. You think he's going to do something crazy there, but he doesn't at that point.
I think it's kind of funny how on like the weird like tour or whatever he's going on, the lady's like, we recycle so many water bottles.
It's like that thing that Bog tells him at the beginning. It's like, we're really environmentally friendly,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Like overcompensating.
Yeah, exactly.
For what they're actually doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think he doesn't do it at the factory? Does he think it'll send more of an impact if he does it at the reconsecration? That Bulk is
I think-
fine?
I think also Bulk's
I think
gonna
he's
be
like,
there,
I have
so-
a better idea.
Or I wonder if he went there with the intention to do it and then he just decided he wasn't ready. Because he did put the vest on before he
Yeah.
went, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's on. It's primed. It's ready to go.
Yeah. So I wonder
It's
if he hadn't
RTG.
intended to do it.
I don't know. There's some part of me that feels like he wasn't gonna do it there. He just like needed to like
Or wanted to
be
feel the
ready to-
adrenaline.
just be
of-
ready to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Just have that knowledge. That I can do this.
take
if
that,
time
take
Yeah.
comes.
that bomb
Yeah.
vest on
Yeah,
a
that's
test
a good
drive.
point.
I mean, I think he probably wanted to get Bulk, like Edward Bulk himself, because he was going to be at the consecration too. So if he wanted to do it, he might want to take.
Yeah.
it.
Because
Interesting
they-
enough
because they
too,
had
there's
the head of
also
the
not
company,
only like
you know?
a bunch of the community he's in, but like the governor there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So
lots
it's
of
like
high-profile
there's like
people.
huge symbols of
It's like
authority.
you look around,
at the
there's
consecration.
a councilman,
Oh my gosh.
a couple off-duty cops, and a judge.
I can't wait till we have a bigger inventory of movies to reference because so far it's just been us
The Iron
referencing
Giant
the Iron
and
Giant and
Batman
Batman Begins.
I don't.
We'll
Not a lot of
probably
waves
still.
referenced.
I don't think it'll be any different.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Oh,
It's
please,
not-
it needs
I
to not
really
just be
think
these
it's just
three
gonna-
movies.
All roads go back to the Iron Giant.
all roads
I
lead
should
to
say,
the Iron
I should
Giant.
say all train tracks go back to the Iron Giant.
Okay, all right, enough.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Okay, we get another meeting with Joel and Toller.
Is this where he tells him that
You're in the
Edward-
garden. You're
Yeah,
always
Bulk
in
will
the
be
garden.
there?
Yes.
Do you think that?
I think he knows that. He should know that, I feel
No,
like.
that
he
he's
knew
gonna have a
that.
bigger role. That he's
Yes.
introducing whoever.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a big role. That's
this,
right.
This is
Bulk
where
is-
he finds out Bulk is like almost overshadowing him at
Yes.
the consecration.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that he's the one introducing
yeah,
the governor.
he's the one introducing the governor. Like he's giving a speech. Like
And this is when he's like, "All right, that does it. I'm gonna
It's
blow
like I
up
think he
the
still
church."
knew because I think when they sat down at the diner, Bulk kind of mentioned.
I think he knew he was going to
I
be
think
there, but he
mentioned
didn't know he was going to
be
play such a huge
Well,
role.
in
yeah.
this conversation, didn't he feel like his role was about to get taken from under him, and
Well,
he was like, "No, just let me do the consecration."
Yeah,
and
well,
he need to
then
go to
We'll get there in a
rehab.
second because they start arguing in a little bit, like
No,
because the
that's
dude found some of the bottles in his trash.
Yeah, he's
and
like, "I know you've
Joel
been
knows he's been
drinking."
drinking a lot. Yeah.
What are you going through my trash now, Joel?
What is that? What is that voice you did? That's not
That's my
what Toller's.
Ethan Hawke voice.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke
Ethan Hawke.
from New York.
Okay. No.
Raptor Pastor. That's actually a
I
film.
don't get it.
Isn't it Velocipaster?
That'd be
You're
better.
right. I am wrong. You are correct.
Velocipaster.
That's a real movie,
That
not
is
a
a
fake
real
movie.
seriously,
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yes.
But Joel tells him, you don't live in the real world. You're always in the garden. You're always sweating blood. And he's like, why don't you go to Nicaragua, build some houses, or do something over there, like trying to get rid of him almost.
He's just like shoving
Yeah.
in like humanitarian projects at him. Basically.
Exactly.
Just
Even-
like get rid of him, kind of like
Like, you need to go far away. You're making us
yeah,
look real
like,
bad.
like I found this part really interesting as well. Just like knowing his like role in the church and being like the tourist attraction pastor, like, and then hit like Joel basically invalidating the
Like, we
position
can
that
just
Joel
send you off.
created.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're worthless because like no one actually goes to your church. You're basically a glorified tour guide.
Yeah.
Like
No, he
go
tells him
do
all
some
that.
real
He really,
work
he really
in the
puts
kingdom
him
of
in
God,
his
which
place.
is like
Yeah.
Damn.
just awful. Like no,
Pretty much
like,
implying
this-
that
Especially because
is
he
not.
does take pride in what he does.
Yeah.
Much like Cole's
he thinks he's
dream.
doing important
That's what I was
stuff.
gonna say. I
and
wonder
just
if
to
this is
hear
where
that from
Cole's
somebody.
dream came from. Was it this scene?
I don't know where it came from, Christian. It just happened.
Again, I'm sorry for Dream Me. I'm so sorry.
You're not responsible
So
for
it's not only
dream
that,
versions of
but
yourself.
when he mentions the rehab, he
Yeah,
I
and
don't
you-
know. I initially, if you know someone's struggling, you want to send
Well,
them to it immediately. But he says, "We'll do this after."
Yeah,
the
here's what I
consultation."
wanted to get into. I think this is kind of where hope and despair can kind of mirror each other in some ways because it's not addressing issues that need to be addressed, but for different reasons.
Yeah, no,
almost.
absolutely. Yep.
Because instead of actually being a friend to Toller and helping him get through whatever he's going through, he just wants to shove him in a closet somewhere. What? Like the
closet
that,
that-
the literal closet that Toller shoves things into. Yeah.
No, it's the same idea of like just ignoring issues at hand, even especially at a church. This is where we see someone else seeing someone else in pain and actually trying to shove them away so that it doesn't affect them or something like that. It's almost like he's afraid to deal with this other person's problems too. Even though
I think
that's-
that's
Or he's
something-
kind of
stuffed
the
his
point of
own
the-
problems so deep
Yeah.
that he doesn't want to deal with Tollers.
Like sometimes hopeful people are like, "Get your negativity away from me."
Oh yeah, no negative vibes here, man.
Yeah.
We don't do anything, and I find
Your
that
energy
incredibly
is really-
This is
Yeah.
this is a
immature
positive
because-
vibes
And instead of trying to help you, I'm just
church.
gonna get you away
No,
from
no,
me.
absolutely, and I think that's a terrible thing to do, and it's not a way to live because you can't avoid things in life. Like life is hard, you can't avoid that. And people try so hard to do that, but it's going to catch up with you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think now it's the reconsecration time.
Yep.
You see him getting suited up. He's got the friggin' bomb vest on.
Friggin' bomb.
It's got his batteries in, so it's ready to go.
Yes.
then guess who shows
He had to
up?
take those out of Mary's remote because she took them.
Yeah, he had to go back. That's why he was at her house.
I get those batteries back.
He's like, well, I'm not gonna use my battery.
I need those.
So yeah, guess who shows up? Who he told not to show up?
Mary.
And
And
so then he starts to get really
Well-
upset.
Well, he starts getting ready first.
Yeah, he puts the bomb vest on. He gets his robe
Steal,
on.
and then
I
he's
was,
like,
I was,
wait,
and this is
isn't
the scene
good
where you're
enough.
like, man, Toller, I thought you were manning up to do it. You're telling me you're not going to do it because you see a girl going into you're not going to
What are you
pull the
talking
trigger.
about?
You're not going to blow yourself up.
Whoa.
What are you saying?
Hey,
Literally, what are you
Michael.
talking about?
Hey, no. just stop.
Hey, I'm the wild card.
What are you saying?
No, I was saying.
Also,
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
was saying because you see him take the vest off, and this you're like, oh, Toller, I thought you were gonna do it. You're not.
I was not
gonna
thinking
do
that.
it. That's the joke. That's the
is.
joke I was making.
It's like,
Ugh.
it's like when he took off the bomb vest. I was like,
Oh man.
How hard I gotta try to make a joke in here.
Also, I thought the scene was really interesting. Like the entire film, his car has been this like crappy little old thing that he's like driven around.
Yeah.
And then Joel pulls up to the church in this
Yes.
like nice suit, like
yeah.
dark tinted
Got a
SUV
driver
with a driver
that opens the
like,
door for him.
That opens
Yeah.
the door for him. It's like
I noticed
the
that.
like just like excess of wealth that some pastors achieve. That
The
is
prosperity
just,
gospel stuff.
Yeah, that is just irks me. Like it just
Yeah,
it
not-
gets me.
Not very good.
Nope.
Not very good at all.
And I thought that was a interesting like little. It was not dwelled
was
upon or
not
anything,
held
but it was a
on.
little like
It's
Little
like that
thing.
scene you talked about earlier with the bulk logo
yeah,
right next
yeah,
to
yeah.
the Abundant Life thing.
Like you kind of
it's
see
just
the
that little
priorities,
thing, but it's
yeah,
just really powerful.
yeah. You see
Yep.
the
Visual.
the unspoken priorities of abundant life like really coming out
Yeah.
in this scene. Yeah,
in abundance.
Ayo.
yeah.
We already made that joke.
I
I
made it
missed
again,
it.
but more
So.
abundant.
thought it was
Oh,
better.
okay, but he sees Mary go in, and immediately he's just.
Oh my god.
How I view this scene? Okay, I think we're probably gonna have somewhat different takes about what
Here
the
we
ending of this movie
go.
means because we're getting into the end game.
Well,
You
your
think it
ending
was a
is-
dream again?
No, I do not think it was a dream again. I think that seeing her go in, he sees probably the potential of both her and the baby that he would be destroying,
baby?
and that makes him take a step back and view it in a much larger scale of what am I doing?
Yeah.
He doesn't want her
Yeah.
to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just seeing that one person go in that he cares about is enough to kind of drag him out of the despair he's been feeling and actually take a look at the consequences of his actions
not
are
so
going
much
to have.
like necessarily the inward despair, but his actions outwardly that he was going to use to affect other people and to explode them. Because he's
Outward action. By blowing
no,
himself.
because he still plans on killing himself, right? So he still has this despair.
I love using explode as a verb.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna explode you.
I'm gonna blow up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause he still plans to kill himself. He
Yeah,
just
yeah. So
doesn't want to
he
kill
still is
everyone
holding
else
on to
with him.
despair, but he sees he
I
gets a
think
little
he-
bit more of a like you were saying a realization.
He's
of
almost there. He's
the
at the point where he's not
actions,
going to use his despair to hurt other people
Exactly,
anymore.
exactly.
But I think again, it's kind of like the tearing the pages out of the journal thing. He wishes he could tear this page out of his journal of his life, and
deep.
I think he feels really guilty for even getting to this point where he was
Yeah.
almost going to do something like
Yeah.
this.
It's like, oh whoa, I'm wearing a bomb vest right now.
Yeah, and I'm about
at a church.
what
At
is?
my church.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the other thing too is like it's also his realization that like even though all these people have been pretty awful to him, they don't deserve to die for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
As
I don't
much
think
as
anyone
we
deserves
kind
to
of
die.
despise all of these characters, like they don't deserve to
be
die,
exploded.
to
be
be exploded for these for what they've done, and I think it's a really
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
honestly, it's
That's
I
the thing
feel
about
like
kind of
him,
like it's not our job to like be the judge.
As God says, vengeance is mine.
Yeah.
Isn't that Batman?
As God said, I am vengeance. I am the night.
Sorry.
As God
sorry.
says, I killed
God
Harvey
forgive
Dent.
I'm sorry.
oh no,
Oh God. Okay, that's not good.
I'm sorry.
Michael.
that was the best joke of this entire podcast.
My apologies. No, I like I said, I still feel like he kind of wants to leave a message though, and I feel like that's why he takes
It's
those
not
barbs
about
and
the
puts
money.
them.
I think he wants to punish himself.
You think so?
With that.
I feel like
That's how I
that
take that.
realization he like finds himself in almost puts him into
A
like
different
more
spiral.
despair. It's like,
Different one. Yeah.
oh, like I can't believe I was in this
It's
place.
like he comes out of a really bad place to be like, oh, that was a really bad place, to go just immediately into a different one.
I
Yeah.
relate to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Not to this extent. Not,
I've
but
never wrapped myself in barbed wire.
Okay. Just coming out of a really dark place and be like, wow, I was a piece of shit.
Okay.
And then you're like,
Piece of
and then you freaking piece of shit. Now I'm gonna feel bad.
Okay,
Why are
I'm
you
just
in
now,
such a
I'm
weird
just now
place, you piece of
realizing
shit?
something. So we talked about this earlier, right after we finished the film.
Yeah.
Where he goes, like, the costume choices go from very light
Yes,
to
this
dark.
is what I noticed too.
And at the very end, like, when he has the bomb vest on, he is in all black.
Yeah.
When he's ready to blow everybody up.
Black
and then
shirt,
he
black pants,
immediately
black
switches
robe.
back to all white.
the white
Which is a
robe when he
bizarre
cuts
choice because
himself
you see
up.
all the blood and everything coming.
No,
off
I
of
think
his
it's
body.
like
It's
it's no
intentional.
longer
Oh, yeah.
it's no longer that he's perfectly clean. He's not putting on the facade of being perfectly pure and in his actions or anything.
I
like
really,
there's-
know,
I
'cause-
really
'cause
like
black
that.
can
Maybe
hide
he
the stains a little
realizes
more.
He's
Yeah.
Okay, could we say that this is a scene where he's no longer ignoring the issues, but he's
You can say whatever you
I
want.
mean,
Because that actually
you,
this
Christian. I
changes the
feel
end for
a
me.
boost of
Because in my
confidence.
head, I thought he was still going to go in and make a scene. Now
Mm-hmm.
I think he's punishing himself, and he's actually trying to go in and like do his job.
Yeah,
and
he's like,
he's trying to like go in because at first I was like, dude, he's gonna go in with the barbed wire and make a scene, but he's covering.
then
all
why
the-
did he
I still
pour-
thought he was going to kill himself
I
because he
did too,
poured
'cause
the.
he poured the
yeah,
Drano.
I thought he was
I
going
guess
to kill
you're
himself.
right.
And
I don't think he was going to go in there. I just think maybe
I think he was just going
as
to kill himself.
when
I
people
thought-
found him,
yeah.
he wanted to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought he put those on as like a. That
I think
was
you're right.
that was
Yeah.
his
I
way
think
of getting.
that-
That was his way since he
I
can't
don't-
kill them now. That's
yeah.
his way of
I think
getting
then
back at them.
It changes because he still wants to kill himself at this point. It changes from his suicide being a thing of destruction and sending a message to him just wanting to die because
Yes.
he hates what he's become.
That's what I'm saying because he still has the despair, but he doesn't
Yeah.
want. He's
Dude,
not
it's-
going to use
it's-
that
oh.
outwardly to destroy others. He's just going to take himself out.
Dude, it's the despair of Judas. Like
yeah,
real life.
literally, yeah. That's,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great
It's
point.
seriously
yeah.
like,
is.
and he's like, I need to like, I can't live with myself anymore for
Yeah.
what I've done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna, and then Judas goes and hangs himself on a tree. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is, yeah, it's the despair of Judas where he's like trying to,
Yeah, that's an excellent take. I really like that.
I
a
did as
lot.
well.
yeah,
that was a good take.
like one of the apostles, one of the chosen, and then just absolute sin and darkness and
The one who betrays Jesus.
yeah, and then
Like we said, experts, people.
Yeah, these aren't just guests; they are experts.
We've just read the Bible.
They are experts.
I do tech at our church
An expert.
Experts.
at recording podcasts.
Yeah.
I make logos.
And soap.
So, Cole, you
Ew.
said
You also do funerals,
Daniel
right?
Collective.
just Cole. So you
We're
said
gonna
you
have to
saw
bleep
some.
that out.
You know, maybe we should finish the movie before we talk about this. But I'm curious to see because
We already finished
you
the
said
movie. Like
No,
No,
we
we
didn't.
did
No,
not.
last
We
shot.
absolutely did
no,
not.
I mean like 3 days ago.
Oh my God,
Haha.
Christian.
Anyways,
Oh.
you said you watched some interviews with Paul Schrader and about
I
what
read
he
some
thought-
interviews with
or
Paul
read,
Schrader.
read some interviews.
There's a
and
difference.
you
Okay.
He
Here's
has some
the
things
thing.
to say about this scene.
Let's get through it
That's
because
okay.
we haven't gotten to the parts that
That's what
makes
I'm
the scene. But we're almost there.
He pours a big old glass of Drano.
Instead of Pepto, no whiskey this time. Just
Straight Drano.
straight Drano.
he has a
He actually
dumps.
dumps his whiskey out, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does
it
dump it out. He doesn't mix it.
He
Yeah.
has a whiskey and Pepto and Drano hold the whiskey and the Pepto.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the, like I feel like the
Like
throwing
a
away
full
the whiskey,
glass,
though, is like a symbolically also renouncing his actions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was gonna. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll have
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
He's
Drano.
Yeah, I'm
renouncing.
going to get to that,
Yeah,
too.
he's renouncing.
Actually,
we were
everything
on the
he's
same
Yeah,
done.
because when I
page about
first
that.
saw this, I was like, "Oh, he's like seeing that his drinking was wrong. He's emptying the cup, then he fills it up with Drano." I was like, "Oh,
That's worse. That's much worse. Please drink the
We are
whiskey.
not out of the woods yet.
Oh no.
like he's finally like, oh, what have I been doing with this drinking?" I was like, "Good for him." Oh,
Oh no!
He did cover himself in barbed
Pick
wire,
the
but
whiskey
he
back
was just
up.
feeling a little bad about himself. Oh no, this is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Here, man.
But
You need some Drano to take it off the edge.
I knew take it off the edge.
Okay.
I mean, I guess. I think when
like
I
that
knew he
better.
was really
you.
in a bad spot is when he grabbed the cup just like with his index finger in the cup, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this
this
man's in a dark place."
Yeah. Okay. But he's about to drink that big old whiskey glass of Drano, and then Mary walks in, and she's in the doorway, and he just drops it.
He's like, whoa.
Oh my god. Stop.
And then they just run towards each other and smooch. and
Yeah.
kiss.
Start
The camera's
making out,
flinging around.
flinging around all
Like,
Mega
then-
sloppy.
I like this because we get the music.
I like that leaning on the everlasting.
Yeah,
arms
we get the
is just-
music that
Esther is
Joel
singing.
has Esther sing to because everyone's like,
right,
what
yeah.
the
It's
heck?
really late.
'Cause the whole
Which is
time.
also just like eerie.
I love that.
I thought it was
It's-
great. I thought it was
yeah.
really rejoiceful, like celebratory the whole time because Joel, they're all looking for him. They don't know where he is, so he just had Esther go up there to sing and
Yeah.
distract him while he goes looking.
Yeah,
for
by
him.
And
time.
they're making out. He's still bleeding from his barbed wire wounds through his shirt.
She
but
doesn't,
she doesn't
Also,
care.
She's
She
into it.
doesn't like notice just like a bunch of barbed wire.
I'm sure she was like, "What's this barbed wire?" He's, "Oh, just kiss me."
Yeah. Gosh. This is where the movie is like really set in its thematic stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
really matter that
Yeah, it
much.
doesn't
if it
lean
makes,
into the
if you-
realism.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not so much about
She's
being
not just
realistic,
like-
it's about thematic impact.
There's no point of like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Why are you bleeding so much?
Told her what the hell? What was that? glass
was-
of
is
thick
that-
liquid.
I know
Is
it
that-
was.
is that
I know
my-
that wasn't whiskey.
Like glass
Is that my
Honey?
widowed husband's bomb vest I asked you to get rid of like 2 months ago?
Is that his
Yeah.
There's
laptop?
so much damning evidence in this home.
But let's make out instead.
But like, damn, you're looking even
okay.
hotter.
And then the camera spins. They're making out. Then it just cuts.
I thought that the DVD player
Such
broke
an abrupt
or
cut.
like a breaker went out when I first watched this.
Me and Michael watched this by ourselves for the first time together.
yeah.
Like I think a year ago, over a year ago.
It was
Yourselves
either a year ago or a little
together.
over a
Okay,
year ago.
well, like me and Michael alone together, you know.
Okay, I
Yeah,
like
you
that.
know,
Keep going.
But I think the first thing I
Without
said is,
you?
"Wow, that was a bold ending," and I really appreciate that.
It's
was-
also
I did
not
too.
like a quick cut to credits.
Oh no, it's
like
it's
it's
hard.
hard cuts, and there's like 5 seconds
Yeah,
of black
it-
silence.
it's-
It,
well,
it
it's
looks
almost-
like you're missing something.
yeah, like Christian said, the DVD player
yeah,
broke.
exactly.
Yeah, I was definitely confused.
Because when it hit like that, I was like, no! It goes like what? I was like trying to. I think I was literally walking up to the
Yeah,
TV
you were
and the
trying to
credits
do
started to roll.
Oh, so it really
like,
bamboozled you.
Really got you.
What do you guys think that ending means? Because I know I have my opinions, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. do you want me to start or anybody?
You should start first. 'Cause I
Okay.
think your take launches off everyone else's
Yeah.
take. 'Cause your
Yeah.
take is
How I think is he finally gets the balancing right, you know? And she definitely represents the balance for him.
Of
And-
hope and despair.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
And I think Toller's kind of the audience surrogate character in this because he starts out relatively hopeful and then he gets deeper and deeper and deeper into despair. And it takes a lot for him to get brought back out of that. So I don't think that he dies. But something about this is the ending is really vague, you know? There's a lot of interpretations that I've heard people say.
that
you
is
know,
like a death.
yeah,
dream
is
thing,
this the
yeah.
last thing a dying man sees before he goes? Does she literally save him? And
Do they literally?
Yeah, I
make
just
out?
feel like
Do
there's
they-
not a whole lot of support for that in the scene itself, though. I don't know.
what him
Like him dying. It just-
clues.
Wow.
That
Wow,
was really
someone-
sassy.
No. I mean, I
Can
just
you
think-
explain?
I
He
feel
didn't
like- I feel
drink
like
the
if
Drano.
it-
context.
But
Okay, what I'm saying. That's what
It
I'm
would
saying.
be a
And I know-
crazy theory.
If you all could have
That
seen the
guy-
head
I just
tilt
feel
that
like
happened.
there would be there. I don't know. I just feel like it's.
I don't even
it's-
agree with that
again,
ending, but the fact that you were going after it so hard made me just like want to jump down your throat. I'm sorry.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. No, I just don't think there was a whole lot to support that he was dead or anything like that. And I like what you said, though. It's because it's so thematically focused at that point. Though.
Yes,
I don't know if it
it's
really matters,
Completely
honestly.
absorbed in its themes. I think the movie. I don't know if I heard this. I probably heard this somewhere, but I think the ending is really kind of how you view the world, kind of thing. Are you going to view it more pessimistically, or are you going to view it with more optimism that he saves himself? Too?
It does it. It does so with a warning almost, though, because I
What do you
think
mean?
I think the movie tries to point you in the direction of this is the balance. This is what I think it definitely.
No,
Yeah, because
Schrader doesn't say that.
Okay. Well, I mean, what does he say?
He leaves it intentionally vague. He kind of views it as, I think, either way, either if he gets saved or she walks in the room, or if he dies and he does drink the Drano, he kind of views it optimistically either way, as if...
He plays both sides.
He does
so
play
he
both
always
sides.
Comes out on top.
Okay, so what Schrader says is if he dies, then you get Toller meeting God for the first time, and God's like, hey...
Let's make
You
it
know,
out.
no, no, that's not what God
He
says
goes,
to
"I am
him.
vengeance."
No, okay. Oh my gosh. But Schrader thinks, God shows him this is what heaven looks like, and he gets to embrace God and go into the next plane of existence, or he just gets stopped and he gets to live on and be a better man. So either way, it's he views it optimistically, but he leaves it intentionally vague.
Interesting. I still
Either
feel
is
like,
plausible.
I still feel like the movie gives enough. There's enough negativity towards both ends of the superficial hope and the despair that it's like don't live either of those ways. Try to find the balance in the middle. You see what I'm saying?
Try to let
mean,
your
yeah,
hope as a
obviously
spare
that's
and
true.
make out once in a
my
while.
point is like, okay,
That's good for you.
I forgot what I was going to say originally. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Great.
that is the
Were
end of
there
the movie.
any other things you read?
I think it's intentionally vague, so it's open to your own worldview. either to be pessimistic or optimistic about the outcome of the movie.
I don't think he killed himself, but
Optimist.
Boom.
Gotcha.
Litmus
I feel
test.
like
but I don't. But I also think that
Oh, there's more.
if the movie's ending on like her being his hope, like that's not gonna last.
Here's what I'm saying about themes is
Cole
that
is
themes literal.
The themes.
let me explain
What
something
somebody
real quick.
represents in the movie isn't what they are literally in the movie. They represent something bigger than themselves. So the ending of the movie isn't totally just finding some girl he thinks is cute and.
Well,
I don't think
gives
she.
a-
I don't think she was saying that. I think.
What are you gonna say? Nothing.
I think that what she represents to the audience, like I think talking about that and then talking about like how I think he was interpreting her at the end of the movie are different things.
Yeah, but what she was written to represent in the scheme of the movie, and as an audience, I think
I don't think she was there at all.
I think she
Explain.
was right.
I'm gonna make you defend that tape.
Oh well, she was just. She was completely thematic. She was just in his head the whole time, kind of like in Joker. You know how.
Oh my! Do not compare this to
You asked
Todd
me to
Phillips'
explain.
Joker.
Do you think that this is his origin story? To
No,
become
Todd
a
Phillips'
Joker?
first reform?
No, that would be a bad movie. Todd Phillips is.
Shouldn't have asked. Obviously, Michael has an explanation.
Yeah.
How bizarre it
You
might
asked
be.
and I delivered. So there it is.
There it is.
All right. Anything else?
That's the movie, huh?
Because boy, is it.
Cole, you really seem like you've got some more
1:40 in the
thoughts
morning.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good.
swirling around over there.
I'm
I know he
chilling.
just wants
It's
us
very
to say something
abrupt
so that he can
response.
disagree.
Any closing thoughts for the guests, though?
I enjoyed the film.
Yeah,
It was good.
I did too.
Did you like it, Corey?
I watched the film.
Did you like it?
I sure watched
Did you
it.
love it?
I sat through the whole thing.
What did you think?
I think that I watched it from beginning to end.
Okay, but what did you?
What did you feel?
Did you like it?
I thought it was very shocking.
That was the point. Yeah. So,
This is not her type of film.
I definitely
I
think you
don't
watched
Most
it.
films
She's
aren't
more
my
of
type
a-
of film.
Do
I'm
you
more
know
like a
Lion
New Girl
King?
person. I'm more like a The Office.
Are you saying
or
you're
Parks
Corey
and Rec.
Page Schoenig, the person who doesn't like films?
Yeah, they're
That
too
is her
much
official
commitment.
title.
Yeah.
And yeah, the contact for her in my phone.
That's her. That's her. Go follow
That's a long
Corey Page on
contact.
Instagram. The person who doesn't like movies. That's also her Etsy store.
That's
Check
not
it all
true.
out. It's all.
We should
hey,
make a
I'm
movie about
Corey
her, and it'll be
Schoenig,
called "The Girl Who Doesn't Like Movies."
And
kinda
I
like
don't
the
like
musical
movies.
And it'll just
about
be
the
a
guy
movie
who
of me
hates
watching a
musicals.
bunch of awesome TV shows.
Okay. Anything
And
you guys
fair
want to
enough.
plug before we sign off?
I want to plug you up, boy.
That's awful.
Oh my.
Is that
You know, I
believable?
don't think
Is that
I have
believable?
anything to add.
close.
So
Not even close.
I've really
That
got to
wasn't
like
even
amp
that
up my
bad.
game.
You got to
then,
you got to
okay?
say
Michael,
something that was like
wait.
this can't get out there.
No,
then-
not that. Okay. No, you're.
I have new music coming out.
Hey,
Yes,
talk
Josh
about
is a
that.
wonderful
You can
musician.
have a new.
I make
cock up
soap.
your ass.
Okay.
Is that bleepable? Come on. Damn it!
and
I'm just like saying
Christian's
terrible
gonna have
things now that are
to
gonna
eat
be
the
heard.
soap now
I'll do it.
because he's mean.
Good night.
Y'all mean.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
This has
We-
been.
Corey hasn't gotten to.
I'm sure you have great soap.
Done.
I'm sure you have great soap.
You don't want to plug anything?
I try to,
I'll
and
be
then I
quiet.
get shut down.
I'll be quiet.
I'm gonna
We'll-
get blepped.
You can
We will
plug
shut. We'll shut up.
whatever you want to plug now. This is your time.
Too much pressure. I don't know.
You have.
You got this, babe.
This has been theme and variation.
Thank you.
G night.
The blood.
And that's a wrap.
Okay, that's all right.